This version of It's Eric Nagel has been modified from its original broadcast. Content has been edited to fit this platform.
Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see.
It's Eric Nagel. And it starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the universe, the next voice you hear, it's Eric Nagel.
And thank you, Scott Shannon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the program. I am Eric Nagel. Over there in the frozen tundra of the desert of Arizona, there is Jordan.
You're not wrong. We've had multiple days of rain and cold weather, so yeah, you're close.
Look at that. Welcome to the program, everybody. If you're listening to us on the iHeartRadio app, thank you very much for doing so. If you're listening to us on demand at some other time, at your leisure and convenience, Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get your on-demand stuff, do us a kindness. Go over there and leave us a positive review. It definitely does help out the program. And if you are listening to us live and you want to join us in the live rooms to participate in the show in any way, shape, or form, you can go over to our live rooms on Twitch and then YouTube, all under the moniker It's Eric Nagel. It's all there for you to do all of that fun stuff. And we have a guest with us this week. We don't have too many guests, but this week we have a guest. It's my old pal Jay Wolf.
What's up?
From the Masters of None podcast. Jay and I used to work radio back on Long Island at WLIR, and for some reason have kept in touch ever since. I don't know why.
I mean, you went on to be way more successful than I ever have been in anything that I do. So much like anybody who worked on the show back in the day.
Yeah, there was we'll get into that in a second. There was a guy that turned into a weird cult leader music megamind that we never saw coming, but it worked out that way. Welcome to the program. Let me throw up, we'll do it early, throw up Jay's information there for you. You can give him a follow on Twitch, Instagram, YouTube for his show, Masters of None, that he does with Mike and Artie. You guys are on a bit of a siesta for now?
Yeah, we've been doing this podcast thing for since 2000, I don't know, too long, 12, 13, 14 years now or something like that. Wow. So we kind of take breaks here and there. We just, we've taken breaks. We did a whole... Are
you doing seasons now?
We've always done seasons, actually.
Oh, you have? Really?
We're the first ones to do it. We invented doing podcast seasons.
All right.
You started there.
Yeah. You gotta invent something. You didn't invent the technology. You didn't invent doing the podcast.
No, we
invented Conan O'Brien.
We invented 3 straight cis white guys talking about nothing.
That is true, because it was always single white guys, and then Kevin Smith made it 2 white guys, and then Jay brought it up to 3 white guys. Revolutionary, breaking the mold.
Wow.
We have a whole new thing. Yeah, so we just took a hiatus. We're going to do some new stuff. It's some new ideas floating around, but we're doing the next thing, because what we've done has been done to death in the podcast world. Our next thing is we're taking the podcast onto a subscription-only Google Sheet. We're that was Sheetcast. It's gonna be awesome. You got to join our Patreon though. Patreon.com/Masters of None.
And then you get approved for the share link for the Google Sheet.
Yeah, it's a Google Sheet. Every day there's just new content on the Google Sheet, and that's what that's the future of podcasting.
People get to read it. That's it.
It's reading. It's links. It's going to be links to audio stuff that's only for the subscribers.
I thought he was just going to add a 4th white guy and really just break the mold, but Google Sheets out of left field.
We're actually adding 40 white guys. It's going to be 44.
Just updating the Google Sheet.
It's just going to look like an infinite loop on the screen, but it's really no, it's even better. When they make art out of still frames from a television show, and then it looks like Frasier, or it looks like The Simpsons, and it's just all different screenshots from the series. That's what it is. So if you stare close enough at Masters of None with 40 white guys on there, you see a schooner.
It's a sailboat.
Anyway, Jay, nice to have you here. Jay and I used to work in, we met at WLIR on Long Island there. You were working for LIR, and then they had not a third party, but a separate wing that did promotions, advertising, that kind of stuff. Strong Island events, right? Yeah. And so I worked my way into Jay's heart, and then was doing stuff at their sister station for a little bit for that shit show. And we used to do a show on Sunday nights called One Step Beyond, which was punk and ska music, and just wasn't being like, this was nothing new to LA, but it was not happening in the New York City area, which was unbelievable, because you'd think some station, even one of those like public funded stations in the 89 frequency, somebody would be playing this stuff, and nobody was. After the third wave of ska in the mainstream, which was essentially like 4 bands and that was it, nobody else bothered playing any of this stuff. So Jay had a good like hour and a half show on Sunday nights that was getting a lot of attention for a while, and then just like everything in radio, hey, this is doing too well, we gotta stop doing that.
Now, what time frame are you talking about? Like, when were you guys doing this years wise?
98 to 2001.
It went a little longer than that because I moved out of the area and I was doing it from Binghamton for a little while.
Right.
Like kind of.
And you had it on that other station, like CD 101 or something, right?
Yeah, we had it on up there, and I was like mailing in CDs I was an hour trying to make it to FedEx, because this was like early days. I had to FedEx a CD of the show overnight to the radio station.
That can be your new subscription tier. You can go back to tape trading and CD burns like on eBay.
We're working on it.
Yeah, rip off episodes.
We're gonna do the first podcast only on CD.
There you go.
Yeah, it's just like Netflix, but for podcasts. You just get a CD.
Podflix.
No one has an actual CD player for it.
Yeah, every week you get a brand new CD in the mail, and there's no return envelope, so you can't send it back to us. You're stuck with that.
That tapes.
It's like the Ring.
And nobody has CD players anymore, so you could pull off like those Times Square scams. You know, when they come over and they try signing their name and they make you pay like $20 for their CD, and you bring it home and there's no music on it. That's exactly what you do. You just press the labels, you put them onto the CD, and then mail it that, and they'll never listen to it. So you make all the money and do none of the work. I like where this is going. It's a solid business.
Dude, we were actually like the first. I feel like we were one of the first streaming radio anythings.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had like guys come in and like bring all this equipment to like stream it live, like the radio show. It was wild.
That station was
seriousness
built like that. WLIR's big heyday was pretty much in the 80s, because they were one of those first stations that adopted new wave and alternative music before it was a thing more in the 90s.
Right.
And LIR was really well known for that, but you could tell all the equipment and everything was still from that era, because giant computer screens, everything was dusty, cart racks on the wall, and then they're trying to wire in computers where wires are going out the door to other rooms.
Dude. When I first got there, they were still using the reel-to-reel machine to record the phone calls, and you had to like cut the tape with like a razor blade
and the grease pencil, draw the lines, tape it back together.
Digital recorder came in. I was like, "Ooh, what is this? New toy?"
Yeah, and then you're like, "Wow, this is a complete fucking waste of time. I could just record it on a computer. Anybody, just take a headphone jack and plug it into the mic in of a computer back in the day. That would have been way better than trying to figure out reel-to-reel tape."
Yeah.
Another thing with LIR too, had a bit of notoriety for the broadcasts for 9/11. They pretty much became the satellite studios for people in New York City, bigger names that couldn't get into New York City for that day or two.
Your boys.
The day of 9/11 in LIR was Sean Hannity. He was using that studio to patch into his to WABC in New York, and then nationally syndicated. And for Opie and Anthony, also nationally syndicated, we're using the Party 105 studios, which was essentially a closet with no windows, no anything, and barely had the foaming on the floor to prevent static shock going into that room. And O&A had to broadcast their 9/11 show there until they were allowed back into Manhattan.
I didn't know Hannity was in there. I knew O&A were in there. That's funny that they were in that tiny-ass studio.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah. And then LIR is long gone, doesn't exist. They sold that off. I don't even think Party exists anymore, does it?
I don't think so, but I forgot what I was going to say. Hello. Sorry. They've been trying to like keep it alive online for a little while. Oh, I was going to say there's a documentary about the station called, I think it's called Dare to Be Different or something like that. Really cool. Kind of does the whole history of the station. I mean, I wasn't invited to be part of it, but
of course, why would we? No,
it's out there in one of those like 4th tier streaming free like Tubies or not Tubies.
With infamous radio personalities, Malibu Sue and Larry the Duck.
Yeah.
And
Larry the Duck's on Sirius.
Yeah, I used to see Larry on the weekends and stuff when we were doing this show when we were still at Sirius. We would see him Friday nights, it was Friday nights. We would see him come in. He looked like a salesman all the time. He had some kind of ragged suit with the tie askew. He'd come in, belt out his voice tracking for the 80s and alternative stations. And then he was gone. Like the magic of radio, everybody. You think you're sitting in a studio nowadays, like, oh, I could play all this music. No, you're done in half an hour. It's all light out. You put your voice to it and leave.
8 hours banged out in like a half hour.
Mm-hmm.
You only get paid for the 1 hour. It's great.
Yeah,
love radio.
I'll have to look for that.
I'm gonna get back into it. I think
when you left New York and were when you left Long Island and you were up in Binghamton and stuff like that, was that the end of your radio stuff, or did you continue past that?
so. I tried to get out, and then they pulled me back in. I started my own like web design company up there, and then there was just an alternative station in Binghamton that was just so horrendous. I couldn't take it anymore. And I just called them up and I was like, can I help you, please? Like, this is so painful. Like, there's nothing else to listen to there. I was like, please. I just came from New York. Like, let me help you. They're like, oh, really? Yeah. Come on in. Like, do whatever. Like, I just ended up being
anywhere else. People should be taking that as an insult. If people are just calling randomly to the request lines, like, let me help you. This is a terrible station. You don't know anything about it. But they were like, really? You know something? Please come in. We have nobody working here.
They were like, what? You were in market 16? This is like market 194. It's like, yes, please come help us. So I got sucked back in there, and then I moved back into the Hudson Valley, north of the city where I live now. And then I worked again for Clear Channel there. So I thought I was out, but no, it turns out I wasn't.
Right.
But I ended up doing radio for like 10 years maybe. And then had a kid and saw the decline on the horizon and wisely got out.
Smart. Very smart.
It's usually what happens when you have kids.
Yeah.
Just everything declines.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The whole industry's declined.
So you left that. Then somehow, can we talk about your current career, or do you not want to mention that?
Yeah, dude. I hawk. I'm a poison peddler. I sell beer and weed drinks. It's fun.
Yeah, he went into the distribution business, the legal kind. He was almost like a beer baron in a way for the Hudson Valley. Anytime there was an event, there was a local brewery, something new was coming around, Jay was online. Jay was at events doing taste tests and reviews and all of that stuff. And I'm thinking, well, I know he has a problem, but at least he's getting paid for it now. So that's
right.
It's the best of both worlds for him.
Yeah, to all the people, all the teachers who said, stay away from drugs and alcohol. Well,
that's how you make
makes
your
the most
living.
money.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
But they're so tasty. So that's what you're doing right now. What are some of the you're peddling the weed beers and stuff?
Yeah, so there's like a whole new category of like weed seltzers. They're hemp derived THC seltzers.
We had this for a while. We haven't done it on the consumer yet. Do you know this one?
I have one of those. Yeah, I sell that in New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great. Cycling Frog, Rebel Rabbit's one of our brands. Delta
THC
Beverages.
seltzers, everybody.
Yeah, it's awesome. So it's hemp derived, so it's not as strong as regular cannabis. So there's hemp and there's marijuana, but they put enough of it in there and it's federally legal. So it's technically legal to sell it. A lot of the states have been cracking down on it, like putting limits on how much, how many milligrams could be in there and that kind of thing. But they're great, man.
But you're allowed to sell it, like if you're a New York distributor, you're allowed to sell it to New Jersey?
So yeah, we have licenses in New York and New Jersey.
Okay.
I'm actually drinking one right now. This is like a sample that I got in because I kind of manage all of our non-alcoholic brands as well. But yeah, they're great, man. Like 5 milligrams. It's like I have one of those, like the Cycling Frog you just pulled up there, and it's just like it's kind of like having one beer. Like it just kind of gives you just a little chill. Like, again, it depends on your tolerance a lot. But I'll have one of those a night. They're like low to no calorie. And you get just a nice little buzz. It helps me sleep like a baby on it. And you don't get like super high or anything. Like for me, you need like 10 to like catch a buzz, 10 milligrams. So I could have like 2 of those, but they sell like 20 milligram, 30, 50. And those are for like the hardcore potheads. Like I know people who just like drink the 25s and there's like, I don't even feel it, man. I got to drink like 3 of those. The first time I got one, I had a 25 and it's like drink a quarter of the can. It says on the can. So you test your tolerance and drink a little more. You know,
essentially pouring your beer into like shot glasses to measure it out. It's like, all right,
yeah, you just kind of eyeball it. So the first time we got it in, I think it was a 20 or 25. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go get a haircut and then go to a movie. So I drank a quarter of it before the haircut. Icky Sticky Fizzy. That's a good name. Someone should come out with that. Didn't feel anything. Went back out to my car, drank another quarter. So I had 10 milligrams, went into a movie, and it was like a kind of a psychedelic horror movie, Infinity Pool, if you're familiar with it.
Oh,
and promptly passed out and then was just jarred awake during these like psychedelic jump scares. I was like, It's just like crazy images and then fall back asleep, wake up again during a jump scare, then just woke up during the credits. I was like,
but Jay doesn't know that it was one of those test marketing audiences. So the guys in the back, they're watching everything with the night vision, and they're like, the audience seems pretty responsive. That one guy really likes certain scenes, like he was going crazy for it.
Keeps hitting the button.
But,
can you buy the THC stuff in stores? Like, when you put it like in okay, because I know here we don't have the THC infused seltzers or whatever. We do have the CBD ones, and I can get that at the local Chevron or something like that. And that's when he showed me the cycling frog. I had no idea that there was an actual THC version of things like, because I thought it was all CBD, because then you can get it into your mom and pops and you do stuff without having to go to like a dispensary for that kind of thing.
That was kind of like the first foot in the door in most of the states. Again, it's different state by state. All the rules are kind of loosening them up, and people are finding the loopholes in the laws and stuff. So yeah, CBD was kind of the first thing, and then they're like, oh, now we put a little hemp THC in the CBD seltzers, and then it kind of goes from there. And they're like, oh, now we got a 50 milligram one, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's kind of slowly but surely working its way up. And they're, like I said, New York, it was legal, and they like put a temporary ban on it, and we had to like sue the state. We won in the Supreme Court, and we got it legalized again. And then they were like, all right, well, now we're just outright banning it, and they knocked it down to like 1 milligram. So there's lawsuits again going on. But Jersey's wild, where Eric is. It's like the Wild West, dude. You could sell anything.
It was weird when it started.
10, no limits. Yeah, it's crazy.
When the current governor came in, one of the things on his platform for when he was getting elected the first time was that he was looking to, obviously Democratic candidate, he was looking to legalize marijuana but it would be like state run, almost like, certain states have state run liquor stores, Pennsylvania, Virginia, things like that. So it was going to be that way. And then when they finally got it up and running like 2 years ago, it was only like 13 licenses that they gave out in Jersey. And there was 13 dispensaries across the state, and they were monitoring it. Like the news was everywhere, because there's one not far from me in the Montclair area. And there was lines out the door. The news was there showing that it looked like, one of those midnight sales for a video game or for a movie or something like that. And that was the whole thing. And then quickly it kind of loosened up. They're like, all right, well, if you have the facility and it gets inspected by the state, that seems to be what takes the longest time to get the inspection from the state. But past that point, it's like, okay, here you go. There's places near me here that are opening up, like it's essentially a coffee shop kind of vibe to it, where it's like you walk in, it's all it's a bakery coffee shop thing, so you can pick out the stuff you want. Then go into the back, and they have an outdoor area where they're going to have like comedy, live music, things like that, all in one places.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's nuts. New York just had this. They just unveiled the rules for growing marijuana at home. Mm-hmm. Does that help your business end now, or not really?
No, there's so few people who are actually growing it at home. People who were doing it were doing it anyway. There was such a dumb thing that they were like, oh, well, you can't grow it at home once they legalize it in New York, that anybody who was already doing it is already doing it now.
I mean, does that help with loosening some of the restrictions for the New York area for doing this?
Well, I think part of the problem in New York is that it's been the rollout of the legal weed here has been such a disaster. And the OCM, the Office of Cannabis Management in New York, has just like botched the entire rollout.
It sounds so made poorly. Up. It doesn't sound like it sounds like something from a television show.
It may as well be the how good of a job they're doing with it. But like once it was legal, like just every drug dealer in New York City just opened up like a head shop in the city, like illegal or not. There's people just selling it on the street, like in Times Square. Cops are standing right next to them. They're like, they don't even give a crap. They started off, it was like, you can gift it. So people are like, oh, you buy these potato chips and you get a bag of weed, or you buy this sticker and you get whatever. You know
It's
what I mean?
taped to the
And now
back
they
of the
don't-
bag so you don't see the transaction.
No, but it doesn't even matter because you can gift it to someone legally.
No, I know.
So you're not
Okay.
buying it. Yeah, but they just sell it.
These
And there's-
Pringles are $50.
Jay may remember this growing up on Long Island. You remember? I've talked about this a while. Remember Dairy Barns,
Yeah, it'll drive through.
the drive-through things. So apparently these weren't as well known as I thought. If you were not from the
Not here, no.
the tri-state area. Everybody knew you could drive in. You could you drive into the center of the store. You tell them what you want. Sometimes you call ahead. They have chips, ice, beer, that kind of stuff. They load it into the back of your car, and then you're out. But if you knew people that worked there, there was always things that were not on the menu, essentially, that if you asked for certain things, that they knew it was something else, and people were doing drug deals and other fun stuff, fireworks, cherry bomb, all that kind of stuff at the Dairy Barns.
Nice. We used to have
It reminds me of like those secret menus at like a restaurant where it's like, oh, that's not on the menu, but I can order this.
Yeah.
We don't have those kinds of things. Like we have some drive-through liquor stores, but it's all off to the side. Like, you're going to like a McDonald's or something. So there's definitely not like into the store. So
Yeah.
it's just, get your thing.
order that bottle of soda animal style.
Right. Exactly.
It's a
I know what you're
3-liter bottle, but it's not I hit my mic. It's not the beverage you were hoping for in that 3-liter bottle. So all right. So New York is slowly but surely making progress. Jersey's still everything's got to be under the up and up as far as the state goes, but they're just now handing it off left and right. So let's make this a massive business, and we're starting to see other states now eventually getting on board or looking like they're doing exploratory committees and things within their state to see if this is going to be something they can sustain. Going into its major election year, general election year, you're going to start seeing that show up for people running for governor, for senator, things like that, where the economy is so bad and job loss and all this other nonsense that you'll start seeing more favorable leanings towards the cannabis industry.
Yeah, they talked so much about like, oh, it's going to be great, and we're going to give the licenses to like ex felons and like community leaders and this and that, and who's got all the licenses? It doesn't make any sense, and then they've just gotten so much flack for it, especially in New York. It's just been a disaster. Just legal stores just selling weed all over the place, and they can't control it. They can't keep up with it, and so this cutting down on the weed seltzers that are legal is kind of like the one thing that they felt like they can control and be like, look at us, we're doing something, like we're stomping out these. Meanwhile, like you can walk into any convenience store or any gas station and just buy weed, straight up weed or whatever, boner pills or whatever you want to buy in there.
It's set up on the end caps of supermarkets or just on the pallets they wheel out at a Costco. It's just right there. Cut it open and take it.
Kratom powder.
Get your $1.50 hot dog combo on the way out and have a good time.
It's such a slow process of people coming around on it. It's like, come on already, man.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Well, we're going to be enjoying some, screw the consumer. I think I'll just enjoy this. It's been sitting here for weeks and I have not opened it yet.
Yeah, drink it, man. It's good.
Anything cherry, wild cherry, black cherry, I gravitate to because you can find a good black cherry soda or a good black cherry seltzer. There's nothing better.
But I was actually just talking about black cherry, like cherry for me, like Sam Adams cherry wheat. A lot of times it just takes me right to Robitussin. Like you get a bad artificial cherry.
It does, it does depend because it does taste like that. But sometimes you get a good black cherry and like a Boylan soda or Hal's New York seltzer.
Dude, C&C cola. Want to go back?
Way back in the day for that. But then also you get the mid-range of a cherry where you're drinking it and it tastes like it takes you back to the days where you would eat a box of Luden's cough drops as candy.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Rip open the wax paper and just go to town and you're not even sick. It looks very reddish. Not really much of a smell.
Chilled.
Yeah, I'm sure it's better chilled.
Yeah, I like this one. I like this black cherry.
This is wild cherry?
or wild cherry, whatever cherry that is, I like.
This is good.
I can drink. Yeah.
This tastes almost like cherry candy, and not like really bad cherry. It tastes like the cherry Starburst,
Okay. Yeah.
or Jolly Rancher, that kind of thing.
Yeah. What I dig too about those is I generally don't do like the intermittent fasting, so I won't eat from like 8 o'clock at night to like noon the day before.
To really get the buzz.
Those fall under the limit of the calories. I think you're allowed to have like 25 calories, and it still counts for fasting. And the cycling frogs are like 20 or 15 calories. So it's a little treat.
Jay's fasting options are, well, I can have water, but I gotta have something else. Do I do the bone broth? Do I do the THC? Yeah.
I was drinking that bone broth in part of my colonoscopy prep the other day.
I did that too, back in the summer.
Dude, I had a pleasant experience. I don't know why everybody makes a big deal about it.
Mine was fantastic in the sense of, like, you're sitting there, they hook everything up, they inject you. You got the wires coming out of your arm, and you're like, you're okay. You're sitting there. They wheel you over to, I guess, the operating room, whatever you want to call it. And the nurse is there, and I didn't realize this was bullshit till an hour later after I woke up. But, all right, just want to confirm the information on the page here that this is your name. Yes. What's your birth date? And I was saying my birthday. Next thing I know, I'm getting smacked in the face by the nurse saying, wake up, it's time to go home. And I went, okay. And then on the ride home, I go, oh, that was bullshit. That was just to see if I was going to fall asleep. And it hit you really fast. Like, you didn't see it coming. You didn't get drowsy, like, I feel I'm falling asleep. You're talking, and the next thing you know, you're being told to get out of here. You're loitering. Go home.
It'd be funny if they pranked you and they were like, oh no, wait, you know, as you're trailing off, like, wait, your birthday's not, and that's the last thing you remember.
Yeah. Our pal Rob in the chat, Eric's colonoscopy clinic rated him most willing to receive for 2023.
After that experience, I fully believe people who have been abducted by aliens and just are like, yeah, it's this big light, and then it just nothing, and then they just remember waking up. Like, that's what it was like, man. Like, they could have did anything to me while I was under there. I would have no recollection. Oh, I hope so.
It's like, I imagine it's like, you know, when they have open brain surgery, where they sit there and they poke different parts of the brain, and you see like the limbs are moving, or you say weird shit like that. I'm wondering what they do with a colonoscopy. What parts are they hitting you just to see your body do weird shit? There's probably like a goof reel or something that they watch at the Christmas party at the end of the year.
Yep. A blooper reel, colonoscopy bloopers.
Too hot for TV colonoscopies.
Outtakes, more like intakes. Am I right?
If you saw that on YouTube, you're not clicking on it. It's like, oh, it's only 8 minutes. I'm good for this. And then you just saw 40 people completely being violated. And against the hippo, but still.
Like, see, I've watched, like, you know, surgeries, and I've seen some of those videos. I don't think I'm going to be clicking on 2023's hottest colonoscopy vids. Like, right. It's not happening.
Colonoscopy talk is blowing up.
Christy Link is in the chat saying you guys are too young for all of that. That's not true. It's
not at all.
The age has been lowered to 45. I think for insurance to cover, they'll take you at any age if they feel that there's a medical emergency or a medical situation that they'll bypass all that stuff and put you through. But they lowered it. It was actually one of the things Biden was running for back in 2000. It was right around the time that Chadwick Boseman had passed. Mm-hmm. And he had colon cancer for like 3 years and didn't tell anybody. Like, nobody knew except, like, I could think, I don't know if he was married, but his family, whatever, they knew. And then that became a big deal. So they were pushing that to have insurance companies lower the restriction age to get that done. And now I think they're even looking at dropping it down to 42. It won't be for a while, but they just got it to 45 a couple years ago. And when I went to the doctor this year and I asked about it, they were, you don't need it. It's like, I don't care if I don't need it. I'm allowed to do it. And I know two people in real life, and then, you know, the Chadwick thing 4 years ago. It's like, I would like to just at least know. And then, so the general practitioner has to recommend you to whatever the specialist is. Mm-hmm. And you go there, and then that guy's asking me, he's like, why? He's like, you don't need, what? This is your job, and you're telling me you don't want to do your job. It was just weird that they're like, why are you wanting to get this done? I'm
Eric
not
somehow
looking to-
found the only doctors that didn't want to get paid for something.
It's weird, right? I mean,
That's
I
so
kind
odd.
of get it, but it wasn't like being paranoid. It's like, no, I qualify. I'm allowed. Insurance pays for it. I would like to know. It's not like you're going every 6 months for, for routine checkups or a
Sir, they
tune-up.
said every 10 years, don't
Yeah.
come in here again.
I asked to go once a month just for the sweet nap.
And the free lollipops at the end for being a good boy.
Give me that propofol, baby.
There you
I
go.
get why Michael Jackson wanted it every night. Like, best nap ever.
He had those tents, right? Didn't he have the oxygen chamber? It was like a sarcophagus he would lay in.
Like an iron lung or something.
No, seriously, there was something. One of those documentaries said he had like an oxygen tent, an oxygen
Wow.
thing where he would lay and sleep either at night or naps. He would just lay in it, and it pumps pure oxygen, which is, by the way, flammable, right into him. So I guess every time I saw and heard about that, it reminded me of that scene from the Stargate movie where the guy, the one guy got killed. They put him into the sarcophagus.
Oh, yeah,
and
you
does
got to
that
stick
thing,
him in there.
and then it regenerates you. I was like, I would pay top dollar to have a sarcophagus in the basement just so that if I broke an arm or if, a kidney's failing, I can just go hop in there and it does essentially like a photocopy scan, and then you're good. You pop out and you're $1 million.
I could use a good night's sleep. The more you talk about it, the more it actually sounds like a great idea. Just nap pods.
That guy might be out of jail by now. You'd probably look him up.
Why not? He knows what he's doing. Can move on from that. So we have other stuff to talk about here. Stuff in the news, stuff in our lives. We should get to some of that here. Jay, you don't know about this, but this has been a bit of an ongoing sore spot on the show for me, where I've been fighting with the guys who pick up my recycling.
Okay.
I've been having a problem for almost a year where they constantly are leaving my cans in the middle of the street. And I didn't think it was just like, because I've seen sometimes with garbage men when they dump the cans into the back of the truck, they just throw it and it's laying down, sideways on your lawn, on the sidewalk, something like that. Maybe you rolled in the street. That I get. These are perfectly placed in the street all the time. And I look down my street. I don't see anybody else's cans like that, just mine. So I don't know what happened. Christmas time came around and I tipped the garbage men pretty well. I know them. They do a great job for us. I make sure that they're taken care of. I tip the mailman. We used to have a regular UPS guy, but because of the way everything happens now with shipping and Amazon, every time you get a delivery, it's a different person. So who the hell am I going to, I'm not taking care of everybody here. So the recycling guys, I purposely didn't leave anything for them because I know they've been fucking with me. And I even left a note on one of the cans like, please do not put the cans in the street. And the note was still on the can and the can was still in the street.
The crudely drawn middle finger on it.
That's really funny.
I happened to be
So did this happen before you didn't tip them, or just started after?
Oh yeah, it happened like sometime in the middle of last year. I
so
noticed
it's not
this.
because of that.
No,
Yeah,
no.
that was my question last week when he was telling me about it. I was like, did you piss them off, or has it been ongoing? Apparently, it's been ongoing.
Yeah, I didn't. If I did
Didn't help the
anything, I am
situation.
not aware of it because I noticed the cans were always in the street, and people come around the corner rather fast in my area, and I don't want my cans. As funny as that would be to see, go flying into a child walking to school or somebody's front lawn or something like that.
Are they? Do the cans belong to the recycling company?
No, they don't.
Oh, okay, they're
They
yours.
don't. You get one little bin that I don't know if it's a state or a town or a county thing, but you get one little bin, and that's supposed to be it. Like they won't give you any more. So you go to Home Depot and you buy the big heavy duty
Right.
blue garbage cans, right? So you put them out there. So I haven't been up to see them since before the Christmas season. I just happened to be up this morning, and I walked to the front door, and lo and behold, there it is, sitting in the street again.
Oh, that's middle of the street for you?
No, that's not.
okay.
This is them fucking with me. Because
Just close enough.
it would be like here, it would be further up down the street, somewhere in the middle, like cars would having to go around it.
Right.
So in the morning when I would get up and I'd see it in the street, I have to go out there and get in the street, or the other bin would be laying in the street. and they have no interest in changing their handling of this situation. So
where should that be? That was like against the curb at least. Should it be like up your driveway? I don't know
which is at least 25 feet further down the block for the driveway. It's down
that's
here.
Where you put it out? That's where you put it out, and that's where they leave it?
Yeah. That's not anywhere near where I left it.
So that sounds like the truck's moving, and they're just like grabbing, jumping on the truck, throwing it in like while the truck's moving, and they don't want to go backtrack at all.
That would be the case if they were picking it up from here. Like if the can was here and it was left down here because the truck is moving. That makes sense. If it was at my neighbor's house,
okay,
they dropped it and left.
But it's like behind where the truck goes?
Behind where I left it. So it's like they took it and then walked it down there and then walked back to their truck.
Now, what I'm going to need you to do the next time you're able to get a picture, I need you to get onto the sidewalk and I want to see your street. I want to see
ring cam.
All the cans in the right area and then yours just randomly somewhere else.
Wait, do you have ring cam video?
I didn't even... why didn't I think of this until just now? I have ring cam. All right, I'll have to look for the ring cam for next week to see if I see that guy walking that can all the way back.
Tune in next week for the Zapruder film of garbage can.
His can is back into the left.
I'll get the scratchy filter and the reel-to-reel noise as it's going.
Single stream recycling bullet.
But yeah, I saw that this morning. I go, that idiot walked it back from where the can was left.
Because, I guess it would depend on where the truck was going. Like if the truck's going...
where that can
toward
is?
Where your can is now, then they grabbed it in your driveway, pulled it down, and then just left it, versus they picked it up at your driveway and then guy intentionally walked it down just to piss you off.
Where that can is, looking at it, to the left, way up to the left is where that can was. And this is a one-way street.
Oh, okay. So that I didn't know.
Yeah.
That does change things. Because I thought maybe it's one way or the other.
That is bizarre.
If it's a one way, then yeah, he'd intentionally put that in front of your house.
Yeah. So when I saw that,
creating more work for themselves just to do that, what are they really? How much are they winning here?
I can understand now it's being an issue, especially when I left the note, so they probably were bothered. But this was going on way before I even said anything. So what happened earlier in the year for them to start doing this? And again, I only noticed it midway through the year. So who knows if it was happening before that? If other people in the house saw it and were just bringing it up and not saying anything to me. Now I've been paying attention to it, and it's just like they are just being dicks for no reason.
Could it be a neighbor doing it and hoping you're going to think it's the recycling guys? Someone fucking with you?
No, I think at one point I was up. And I saw the can just being left in the street. Like it wasn't walked backwards. That's new. But it would just be laying in the street. Like it's like they took it, they dumped it in the truck, and then dropped it right behind the truck, and then left. That's what it was weird, because it was like they didn't even walk it back to the curb. It was just left in the street like that. But right side up. It wasn't like it was knocked over. They perfectly placed it. I did find something else out, Jordan, from people after last week's episode talking about this. Apparently, in most of the country, they don't have garbage men that hang off the back of the trucks.
Not here, no.
And throw stuff into the back of the truck there.
Nope, I just got a guy that runs around the big truck. It's got the big arm that comes down, it grabs it violently, shakes it violently, wakes everybody up in the neighborhood, and just slams it down and then drives off. Yeah, so your middle of the road thing is a person doing it. Mine is just the machine drops it and then he goes on its merry way. It never ends up where it starts.
Yeah, down in Florida, we had talked about when you can't put recycling into the plastic recycling bags.
Right.
They have to just be loose in the container. So that you place them out there, and there's just like little forklift things that go into the can, lift it up, dump it over the top, and they go. I thought that was more of a rarity for certain areas, but it seems the majority of the country has that and doesn't have the old school guys hanging off the back of the truck.
Right. And like when you had mentioned that last week, it reminded me of watching a movie and you seeing that. And I didn't realize that was a thing I was like, maybe it's an East Coast thing because I've never had that living on the West Coast. It's always been, giant metal arm, one guy running the truck. So
yeah, I mean, we had it on Long Island. We have it here in Jersey. So maybe it's a Northeast thing. Like I think Philly has it and Boston has it.
Yeah, the only time I see the guys hanging off the back is when we like schedule bulk pickup. And like there's, just loose trash or big things and big items, and they got the guys hanging off the back and they get it into the truck. But for the most part, it's not like that. I had a question because I've seen the original picture of what you've been showing. Mm-hmm. You said you get a tiny bin, and that's a recycle bin, right?
Right.
So how come in this picture that's full of stuff? They took your can but left that on your sidewalk?
Because apparently there's two different recycling trucks. One takes the cans and bottles. The other one comes and gets all of the paper goods. So that bin I use for the paper goods, and boxes and other stuff I just leave out there. And that big giant bin is filled through the week because they only come once a week, with the clear bags for the recycling can that I have in my kitchen and in the house and stuff. Tie them up, throw them into the big thing, and then you wheel it out like you would a regular garbage can.
Seems like you got a lot of rules to recycle out there.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Again, it is the Wild West out here. We just throw shit in there.
They pay attention. If you go a couple of weeks and you didn't, they send you a notice like, "Hey, we noticed that you haven't you haven't had recycling going out there." They're ready to fine you. If you don't.
In Brooklyn they do. They'll like spot check your recycling and stuff. You got to have like clear bags. You got to have everything separated and like. And my sister has gotten like fined before. My dad, who lived across the street from her, we could throw anything in his and they'll just take it. I don't know if like one truck comes for that or does one side of the street, one side truck does the other side. But like her side, they're super strict, and the other side, they just don't give a crap.
Yeah, really see, my trash and recycle are on the same day. You get trash at the black bin, blue bin is the recycle. They told us don't put glass in there because the glass recycling is in Phoenix, and I'm 50 miles away from there. They're like, it's just too much money to drive out there to recycle glass, so just go throw them away. Paper, plastic, things like that in the recycle, and you don't even bag it up. Just dump it in there. Yeah. I go that extra step and I rinse a few things here and there, but for the most part, they don't.
I used
ever
to do that,
restrict us at all.
And it doesn't. If there's a lot of shit in the can or like a salad dressing bottle or something like that, I'll maybe. But if it's barely anything, I don't give a fuck.
Just whipping his SpaghettiO cans in there.
Yeah, recycling's a huge scam anyway. Most of that stuff doesn't even get recycled at all.
Somebody watched the episode of Bullshit with Penn and Teller.
Yeah, it's proven a million times over though.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the same truck just throws both cans right into the same thing.
Probably does. It's like the old Simpsons brewery bit where it says Duff Light, Duff Dry, and it's all just branched into 3 vats, but it's coming from one pipe.
It's more dog.
Yeah. And
it's red tick beer.
And it's all just floating, at the size of Texas out in the Pacific Ocean anyway. So.
Oh, my God, I know.
All in our blood.
Our pal Gio from Colorado. In my neighborhood, we have rear loaders with the guys on the back. Okay, so there are still some areas that do that, but from what I've been hearing from a lot of people, they were all surprised to hear that they don't have that kind of setup out there, and plus their garbage only comes once a week. They were surprised to hear that it comes twice a week out here.
Yeah, mine's once a week. In fact, it was this morning. Yeah.
You have once a week for the recycling, once a week for bulk pickup, and then twice a week for garbage.
Oh, you get a once a week for bulk? I get once every month, and I have to schedule it.
But I think once every, not every month, but I think it's once every 2 weeks. It's for leaves and lawn clippings and things like that. You have to have the big brown bags of the waste from your landscape. You put that out there, and I think once every 2 weeks they come around and grab that too.
Man, it's a whole new world out there on the East Coast.
I know. You're just used to burning everything out in the desert where no one lives. So it
sounds bodies.
Fantastic. I wish you could just go dump it on a beach with no ocean and then pretty much have your own Burning Man whenever you want.
Yeah.
Tom from Alberta. Wait, where did it go? It moved. Tom from Alberta. Theory. It's not the recycling guys. A certain. No, we're not talking. Do you know if I caught him on my ring cam, I wouldn't even confront him. I would just put it online and go, What do you think this is? What do you think this is? Let's see here. Tom also. We get one side lift truck for the green organics bin. One side lift for the garbage, and a rear load with a guy to grab blue translucent recycling bags. Yeah, Canada's very strict on the weirdest things. Like they're so over the top, like Gestapo state to certain things, and then other things they could give two shits about.
The driver
droppings go in the brown bin.
Yeah, what's in the brown bin? There is no
the
brown
moose
bin.
droppings.
Ew. Ew.
bin.
So that's my recycling update. I'll let you know if the cans are missing, or if my there's donuts on my front lawn or something like that. We'll keep you updated.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the ring cam footage.
Jordan had an Eric incident, an Eric style incident, type incident.
You're notorious for having such great service, going to eat and going out and having just, jovial times when you get your food.
Right.
When we do the show, we end it, we'll talk for a second after the show. And then almost like clockwork, we go, all right, I got to go. I'm hungry.
Yeah. We have dinner. Yeah.
Now, I don't live in like a very populated area. I'm a little more rural. No. The desert. That's just cactus and a Roadrunner, and that's it. And I can never catch the Roadrunner, so I got to order my food out.
We flew over your house in Microsoft Simulator, remember?
We did. That was fun.
I flew into my own house in Microsoft.
Did you really?
I kept doing that to my on the side tangent. I did that to my son. I was like, "Oh, look, there's your school. Now watch this." And he goes, "Don't do that." I'm like, "Ah."
And Jordan's just like 9/11, and you're like, "What?"
Never forget. You'll learn about it later.
Stop streaming this online. What are you doing?
So last week, I was hungry, and I didn't have anything like prepared, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to order food. And I hate using Uber Eats because they jack up the prices, they jack up everything. Everything's always expensive. You got to tip the drivers, which I don't mind because I do live further out, so I usually tip a little bit better because it is a drive. So I order from one of the local fast food burrito places, not a Taco Bell, but it's more like it's a chain out here, but it's like actually good food. And they bring my food to me. I open it up, and I had ordered, I think it was a carne asada burrito, so like meat, guacamole, all the stuff, and then potatoes in it. So it had like French fries. I open it up, and it was a breakfast burrito, eggs and potatoes. And I'm just like, I could eat this and not throw a fuss, or I can throw fucking havoc and be Eric Nagel. So I get in my car after I've ordered food and had them bring it to me.
I will say this. Where it differs from me is my order gets fucked up. It's food that I would never want to eat.
Yeah.
A breakfast burrito is delicious. It's just That's not what you ordered, and that's not the time for it.
It wasn't what I was craving at the time. Right. I was like, I need something. I wanted this specific item. So I get in my car after I've had someone bring it to me. Mm-hmm. I go all the way down to the place, and it's maybe 10 minutes drive. But the problem was it was also raining, and I just didn't want to deal with it. So I get there, I go up to the counter. I was very nice about it originally. Mm-hmm. I go up to the lady, and I was like, I ordered this on Uber clearly, and I showed her my receipt. I was like, this is what I wanted. This is what you gave me. She goes, oh, so sorry. Now, this is a legit Mexican food place. So she's barely English speaking. The cook doesn't know what I'm asking. And apparently there was a guy in the back. She looks at the cook and she goes, okay, hey, this is what this is supposed to be. He didn't know how to make it. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? She was confused on what he had to do. He was confused. So she goes in the back, learns what's supposed to be in it, and then tells the guy.
All right, here's where you could have saved yourself some grief here.
Made a sandwich?
On your one, yes, but two, on your phone, Google Translate.
No, it wasn't so much it wasn't that I wasn't understanding what they were talking about or whatever. What I was talking about. Apparently this was a menu item that this cook didn't know how to make. So in my head, I'm sitting there going, oh, because you didn't know how to make it, you just guessed that this guy wanted a fucking breakfast burrito
and some chorizo.
Right, the eggs are going bad at the end of the night.
There. Yeah, there you go. Done.
So yeah,
the Mexican version of the cheeseburger.
Exactly.
Breakfast burrito.
Yeah.
Pepsi Cola. Yeah. Let's go for it.
So very nice about it. They got it going. And as soon as I get my food, that's when the switch flipped. And I go, and because the other part of this is that the last two times I've ordered food from them, they have messed it up in some way. They've either left off an item or like the food just felt off because the kids like eating there. So like they have a good like bean and cheese kids meal that, you know, fries and all this shit.
Right.
And so like we'll get that. The last time they did it, they shortchanged all the fries. They don't bring the drinks half the time, or they, you know, like I said, leave stuff off. So this was like the second or third time. And at this point I was just pissed. I didn't want to leave my house. I was already tired. Bring me my food, and it's wrong. So I go back, and as soon as I get my food, knowing that it's already made and they're not going to spit in it,
right,
I laid into her. I was like, look, how hard is this job? And I started just being mad, like just pissed. Like, this is not hard. You guys do this for a living. How hard is it to not leave off my stuff? Because I'll get the receipt. They have it clearly listed. They've even written it. It's one of those, you know, they write the menu, like they write the receipts out. And I was just pissed. And then Eric, as I left, Eric texted me, hey, what are you doing? I was like, and then I just told him about it. He goes, oh man. I'm like, yeah, this is something that happens to you all the time.
Welcome to my world.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how simple a job this was, and they fucked it up. And I was just pissed. And the whole time I'm sitting there going, this is how Eric lives on a daily basis. Because every time you say you're going out to eat, I can't wait for the story.
I've had a few
of
great encounters not great encounters. I had a few great experiences going out to eat. They're higher level style restaurants, but they've been fantastic. So I haven't had the other issues in a while. But one place I stopped going to altogether.
Right, and that's what I'm doing now. But you've been in these situations where you're usually in a group of people and family, so you do I'm just going to sit here and take it. I'm not even going to throw a fit. I don't need this kind of thing. Am I wrong to be just that pissed off about it? Like, it's the third time in a row. Like, this wasn't just random over like a couple of years. Oh, you messed something up. No big deal. Like, at this point, like,
you're now at the point where you go, I need to cut ties with this place, even though I do love the food. When did they get it right? I just can't do this. Remember the one time that Mexican place near me, the chef left, and they had a different chef there to cook everything, or cook whatever you want to call it. And when you get like the nachos or the burrito with the ground beef in it. Mm-hmm. It had like peas and carrots and something else in there. And you go, this shouldn't be in a Mexican burrito. What is this doing here?
You get the shepherd's pie burrito.
That's exactly what it was. And you just go,
potato.
I can't be part of this place anymore. I need to find another place. I don't care if I have to wait longer to get the food correct. It needs to be done. Rob in the chat says, every Eric story ends in the same way. I sat and stewed and then we left. Yes, that is true.
I just, at this point, I've now sworn off the Uber Eats, the whatever things. I'm done paying
Uber
for that
Eats to begin with.
I just live too far away. Like it's a process for me to go anywhere. Like if I want to go meet people, it's 30, 40 minutes.
There's so many people who, some I work with, some I've heard stories on other shows of younger people where they think nothing. They complain they don't have money to do anything or everything's so expensive, which it is. I'm with you on that. But then you find out they're doing Uber Eats all the fucking time, like $40 a pop, and they're getting McDonald's or something like that. Uber Eats, DoorDash, those kind of things. You're paying essentially almost a little over 2.5 times what the food costs for the fees, for every taxes, locals nonsense that they throw onto there, and it's just not worth it. If I can find a place where either they do their own delivery, and I'll tip very well for their own delivery person, or I'll just say, you know what, I'll make the effort. I'll go and pick it up because I'm not going to. If you're spending, $40-50 on dinner for everybody in the house, and you go, then they're going to want to charge another $30 on top of that for the delivery. Screw that. I'll just drive the 10 minutes. It'll be fine.
I never do those. Never use those things. I hate getting that food that's just been sitting for that long because it's always
well, that's the other thing. It's like I'm sitting there. Gross. Yeah, and I'm sitting there, and you can like see when someone picks it up, and you place the order. It's like 9:00, and no one's picked it up for 45 minutes. It's been done.
It's the worst.
They're not. It's a burrito. It doesn't take long, and no one's picked it up. I'm like sitting there going, "This is this is ridiculous. Like, I have to stop doing this kind of thing.
Some of these places need the apps, like Domino's got it right, where you got the oven, the pizza tracker.
Oh, I love the pizza
where it shows
tracker.
you where it's being made to when it's in the oven to when it's out of the oven to when the delivery guy has it to when it's coming to you. Every place.
Yeah, and I've got mine set up to look like it's like Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. So like a little parrot keeps telling me that it's almost done. I'm just like, this is great. More places need something like that.
You are a strange young man. But yes, whatever works for you. Our pal Tom from Alberta saying, Jordan, why don't you just go get it? You've got those brand new nice tires to use.
I also have a small child sleeping. Sometimes I can't leave the house.
Is it your child?
I didn't say that.
Okay.
It is now.
I said too much.
Tom says, of course they screwed up your order. You work with Eric.
They must know. Yeah, I definitely felt. Ugh.
Rob saying the scenario seems like Jordan's fault. They showed who they were 3 times in a row. You got surprised by the regular experience.
Yeah. Roll me thrice.
Yeah. Just give me my burrito.
So now you know, stop going to Del Taco and go to a real authentic place.
No, I would go to Del Taco. Del Taco's delicious.
I got to try it. I might be in San Diego this summer. I don't know. I think this will be the year I finally go and try Del Taco, even though everybody tells me it's worse than Taco Bell. But
I like it better than Taco Bell.
Well, that's the East Coast, West Coast thing. Stuff on the West Coast, all the East Coast people are like, I really want to go try Fat Burger. I want to try Carl's Jr. or whatever. And they're, oh, that's garbage. No, go. The stuff you guys have over there is better. It's like, no, it's not. Just leave me alone. Let me try it and experience it for myself. It's my job to tell you what to do, not you tell me what to do. I
always get excited when they bring a chain that I've not been able to try from like different parts of the world. Like we're getting
Dunkin' Donuts.
Well, we've had Dunkin'. Have you? There's 2 things coming over here. One of them, you've heard of Zaxby's, right? It's like that chicken place. Mm-hmm. I think it's more of the southern chicken. They're bringing one here, like probably 10 minutes from my house. Only one in Arizona. I would like to
try a Zaxby's. There's none near us up here.
Right, and that's how it was here. And then apparently they're going to be putting in a Buc-ee's, like the big chain in like Texas. They're going to put one out here.
The big gas station.
Yeah, it's like 78,000 square feet. I'm like, that's like a small country.
That would be great if they managed to clear out a part of Jersey City and just put a Buc-ee's there right near the entrance to the tunnel.
It's just a Buc-ee's.
Like, why is this here? This makes no sense, but...
It's the Buc-ee's mega city.
Look, they've got the money. Instagram is off, so bye to them.
Bye, Instagram.
Instagram
it's an amazing place that I just tried for the first time. They just opened a Cava in over the border.
I've heard of that place, but I don't think I have any close by.
It's basically like Chipotle, but for Mediterranean food.
Yeah, Drab used to love that place. Apparently,
it's amazing. It's a little pricey, but it's so good.
It's good.
It's like you get huge portions. You get like free warmed up pita bread, and
it's
everything
in olive leaves and all that.
They don't do the olive leaves. Or actually,
dolmades or whatever that's called.
But you just get like a huge, healthy ass salad with like all these cool like.
Can I have the gyro salad, please? Thank you.
Basically
every day, but it's a salad, doctor. I don't know what's wrong here. I would love to try that. They're opening. I saw it the other day. I was going into the studio, and I was walking through Penn Station. They're almost done with the whole renovation that they've been working on for the last few years. They're starting to put stores back into the main underground level of Penn Station. They have some new place open. I don't remember what it's called. I never heard it before, but I see opening soon on the other storefronts. Shake Shack's going back, Starbucks is going back, what have you. They're putting in a Raising Cane's in there. And I just like
the Times Square one.
I was going to say, you didn't like it when you tried it.
I hated it. It was terrible.
I agree. It was so overrated. I couldn't believe it.
And I didn't even have it up here. I had it in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
I had it down, in the areas that it's known for. And like the somehow garlic bread was too salty. I don't know how that happened.
The whole plate, it's like... the chicken fingers were good, but it's like then you got these fries. Then they give you bread, and it's just a big plate of yellow
fries.
Yeah, it's yellow and tan. I actually took my son there the other day because we just go in to hang out. Because it's one of those things where like all the kids will eat it. So like, all right, I'm good with that. But you're right, it's just yellow, tan. And I like the chicken, but I realized it's gross by itself. You have to dip it.
It's not good.
And the cane sauce sucks.
It does. Like
it's
terrible. You're like, all right, well, this place people like this cane sauce, so that seems to be the only thing salvaging this meal because they have that sauce to dip in. The crinkle cut fries were terrible. The coleslaw was bland. It had no taste whatsoever to it. And yeah, like you said, the chicken tenders were who gives a crap, and everyone loves.
No
that
barbecue
place.
sauce. No barbecue sauce in the whole place.
Yeah, I saw a hack the other day that I want to try where they took a bag, they put the tenders in there, and then they put like Frank's Red Hot in there, so
Right.
shook it up, so you got it like a little, spicy chicken finger. I'm like, all right, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's like a Chick-fil-A hack too. You take the sauce, you put it in the bag that the sandwich comes in, take the bread out, put the chicken patty back in the bag, dump the sauce in, shake it up because they give you those thick like foil bags that the chicken sandwich comes in, and then build it back up.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Chick-fil-A is the king of sauces, dude.
They
That place
are.
rules. I get every one of every sauce except the ranch when I go, and that's just for the fry.
At that
I don't know why
point,
my kid keeps cutting out.
you don't even need. I mean, the other sauces are great, but you don't need that Chick-fil-A sauce is 3 sauces in one.
Yeah,
And it's just an all-purpose sauce. Like I hear you, adobo, all-purpose seasoning. Chick-fil-A is the all-purpose sauce because you get it on the chicken sandwich. You dip their. I wish they didn't have those waffle fries. I wish they had better fries, but
Why do you hate the waffle?
they're just I don't know. They're kind of eh.
You
See,
can
I'm
you can
gross
sprinkle
and
more
half
sauce
Belgian.
in them.
Yeah, so they just hold sauce on it so much.
Yeah.
You pile sauce on those fries. I love
So
those
yeah,
things.
you have the sauce for that, and then if you're there in the morning, which at the airports I do, I'll get the chicken
biscuit.
biscuits. With the sauce on it.
And they're always so nice.
They are.
Like, even
They're
when they mess up.
polite.
Yeah.
They ask for the spelling of your name. They don't just assume. And
Like
then,
you
Unless
had
you're
to
gay.
have something really bad happen to you to ever be mad at a Chick-fil-A employee, like just to complain. Like I don't want to complain to these people.
It's very rarely, and if there is a backup for some reason or a delay, they go, "We're really sorry. Here, take this to your thing. We'll bring it over." And sometimes they give you an extra thing. It's like, "Look, we gave you an extra thing of fries or an extra sandwich. We're sorry for the." And you're like, "This? Did I go back to the '60s? This is fantastic. Am I going to have to wear a suit on the airplane now because it might be worth it to get this kind of service back in my life again?"
But also, no gays allowed.
Well, they're
yeah, but everyone's dressed to the nines on the airplane, so I mean,
they're the attendants now.
right?
They've come a long
Steward.
way. They've come a long way, Jay. Be proud of them. Stewart. Yeah, now I want food because I haven't eaten dinner. So
You know what else is an awesome chain? Have you had Bonchon?
Yeah, we have them here in
I've
Arizona.
not.
like in
I'm
Scottsdale.
sure they're
Oh my
around.
God.
I just never had it. That's the
They have, like,
sandwich.
big old,
place,
big
right?
old wings, like the big old drumettes.
Yeah, it's Korean, right? Korean style or Vietnamese
That's
style
Korean.
fried chicken.
Yeah,
I forget which one.
I would
Korean
try
fried,
that.
fried chicken is big. Like it's apparently really, really big.
I would
I haven't
definitely
yet
love to
tried
try
it.
that. What was the Korean food I just tried for the first time?
Bulgogi.
Bulgogi last
Yeah,
week.
it's good.
So
mashed
good. And
Rice
then
in the bowl and the meat and all that.
yeah, it had egg. It had all this fun stuff. It was fantastic. Yeah, I would love to try the Korean chicken stuff. That sounds great. I'm sure it's
Bonchon,
better
dude.
than
Best chicken
Jollibee.
ever. Oh yeah, Jollibee's not great.
Is garbage.
You mean you get like
Jollibee's
sweet
great,
spaghetti? What are you
No,
talking about?
because it sounds promising. It's like spaghetti with hot dogs in it. So you're thinking SpaghettiOs with hot dogs in it. So this might be
know.
good. And it's not even like a tomato sauce. It's like a candied ketchup.
It's like a
it's weird.
sweet sauce. Yeah.
And then I tried their chicken too, and their chicken was kind of
See, their spicy chicken was good, but yeah, I'm not. Most of the other items, they actually have like a pork fried rice, which is really good, but everything else is kind of.
I was pissed because back in the day, Anthony Bourdain raved about this place on his show, and he's like, "I'm going to." He was somewhere in Thailand, I think, and he's like one of the most. He was building it up as a delicacy, one of these kind of exclusive restaurants that you have to try when you're there. And then he walks into a Jollibee, and then he's telling you all about how great this food is, and then he had an episode where I think it was the same episode. He ran into Obama, and they gave him like 10, 20 minutes with Obama. They went and ate fucking Jollibee. I'm like, well, if the president liked it and Anthony Bourdain likes this stuff, it has
This
to be.
must be good.
And then when they finally opened in Manhattan a few years,
It was like
3 years
2 years ago,
something
Yeah.
like that. It's only a few blocks away from our studio, so I walked over there and I'm like, this is terrible.
Yeah, by the Port Authority, that one. Walked away.
Yeah, I guess it's like midway up 8th Avenue,
Yeah.
almost near 40, somewhere in there.
I'm telling you, dude, Bonchon, blow your mind. It's
Yeah.
the best chicken I've ever had.
Looking for
chicken in
Bonchon.
any form. That's how
Yeah,
good it is.
Korean fried chicken is really good.
Sick. So they like double fry it, so it's just like extra crispy. Like, but it's not like fried chicken. It's not battered. You know what I mean? It's mind blowing. It's so good. I don't know how there's not more of them like everywhere.
Probably costly to open those places if it's franchised.
No, they have like really small locations. Like there's a lot of them that are just tiny. It's like, a few tables, like super small places they put them in. There's some in Jersey. I ate at one.
There's Eric, there's
Bergen
one
County
not
there.
far from you, I think.
Really?
In like your town, that close.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, look it up.
I'm gonna have to go look.
Read his address again real quick. What is it?
So
Let me Google map it.
Upper Mountain Road in Montclair. Come on by anytime.
Yeah.
I'm
Good luck.
good. All right. I'll have to look for that. And
Anshan and Kava, dude.
Kava. I have not seen Kava. This is turning into like, remember the big deal when everybody knew of Olive Garden, and then the company that owns Outback opened their own Olive Garden, but it was a more upscale Carrabba's, I think it was called.
Oh, yeah.
So then it was like, oh my God, it's like you go to Olive Garden, you got to go to Carrabba's, and like Carrabba's it's just a heavier sauce. And that's it. It's still the same garbage. You're in an area that has good Italian food. Don't go to these places.
Even if you're not. Is my audio cutting out when my
you
camera
cut out.
cuts
You said even if you're not. What was that?
I said even if you're not in an area with a good Italian food, don't go to those places. Garbage.
Just go get the spaghetti at Jollibee's.
Olive Garden is specifically for soup, salad, and breadsticks.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. You get the
like
all-you-can-eat soup, salad, and breadsticks. Yeah. It's like I keep saying, bring another one of those big fake glass bowls of salad over here. I'll mix it up. Keep the pepperoncinis. I'm good. And then
keep all your pasta.
Yeah.
It's funny because there's a fast food.
You got to have the tour of Italy when you're there.
No, you don't. There's a fast food Italian place that used to be here in Arizona and it disappeared. And they still had like one or two here in like maybe California and then someone like in like the Midwest. It was called Fazoli's. And they disappeared for years. They just came back here to Arizona. Like they just opened up a location, I think in October.
And you ran them out of town with your pitchforks and torches.
I'm going to go get it. Like they have like a baked spaghetti that I love. You get the little Italian ice. And while you're waiting in line to order, some lady comes and hands you breadsticks. It's like heaven. It's so gross though. Like it's not good food. You're right. Like it's bad Italian, but I'll go there 9 times out of 10 over an Olive Garden any day.
Tom says Carrabba's is Olive Garden plus 50% more.
Right? Everything is like a mushroom sauce.
Tom is also asking Jordan if you have Taco Time restaurants. They're a Western Canada and Western U.S. fast food joint.
No, I've heard of it, but no, we don't. I don't think we have it here. And if we do, you're most likely going to find it like Tempe, like something around like college towns.
Okay.
I haven't seen one.
I do enjoy trying the local cuisine when I travel to the West Coast.
I love trying new fast food joints.
Yeah, I do too.
Favorite thing.
Some good
what's
stuff.
great is Culver's. You ever had Culver's?
Oh, I just had
No,
me and Aaron were talking about Culver's the other day, and after the show on Sunday, after we record, we're gonna go get Culver's. So I'll take pictures for you, Eric. It's delicious.
The butter burgers, and they got fried cheese curds and like custard shakes. Oh my God.
The reason why we're talking about it is that every year, like for maybe a month, they do a cheese curd burger. So it's not just the normal small cheese curd. It's a literal patty of cheese curd that they stick on the burger. I'll have to find you a picture.
Oh my God.
It is fantastic.
Oh, this place looks pretty good.
It's fantastic. It's really good.
It's right up there with the banchan and the kava.
Yeah,
good.
It's wonderful.
All right, let's take a look here real quick. This is Culver's.
And the food actually looks like that. Like
It's not like, oh, this is what the picture is, and then it's squished down to 5 inches. No, that is legit what it looks like.
When did this become a thing where all the condiment stuff are under the burger?
Like it sits on
There's
it.
some other place. I think Chick-fil-A even does that too, where the patty is on top, the chicken breast is on top, and everything else is below it.
I don't know.
And then I'm like me, probably like an idiot, where everyone else just goes, I don't care, and they eat it. I'm sitting there reconstructing it and putting it back the right way before I eat it.
What's good about this place, Eric,
OCD
is they also have packets of malt vinegar. And so I'll dip my French fries in it, and then I'll take the butter burger. I'll take the bun off. I'll soak the bun in the malt vinegar, stick it right back. It's.
I don't know if I do
wait
that.
to go eat this on Sunday, and I hate that I'm saying that, and it makes me feel like a fat guy.
I don't know if I would do it with the bun, but I definitely would put salt and malt vinegar on the fries. Get a thing of mayonnaise to dip it in.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Oh, these are the fried cheese curds.
Yeah,
so good.
Oh, they have onion rings. They're not the beer battered kind either.
I have never had any issues there. Like everything I've ever had
Crinkle
has been
cut
delicious.
fries or take or leave
They're
it.
good, but they're consistent with it. Like I've never had bad fries there. Like with we talk about
Coca-Cola products, very important.
Root beer.
Very
they
important.
make their own root beer there,
Yeah,
so they have
root beer.
yeah,
Oh,
and the
then
zero sugar one too, and it's delicious.
I would have to try the house root beer.
It's
Gotta
good.
do that.
No, it's good.
Options
And then they
for
have-
sauces.
They have ice grill. Frozen custard.
Yep.
But then they do like flavors of the week, and they always like one of them was like a strawberry lemonade frozen custard over the summer. I was like, this is
They
fantastic.
give you samples. Like, oh, you want to try
Love
the
it.
flavor?
And they're pretty nice there too.
Nice
Like
there too, yeah.
God, now I want to go to Culver's. When do they close?
They have sourdough melts.
Yes, I've had the Wisconsin Swiss. That was a good one.
Oh, I love sourdough melts. Every time Jordan goes to Jack in the Box, he sends me a photo to taunt me.
I tried that smash burger again the other day. It was so good. That one looked a little more smashed that time.
Yeah,
around.
because
that first time you're
I
right.
think they
didn't look
ran
like
out
it
of
was
the
smashed.
other. They just threw the regular.
No,
burgers
because
on
there is
there.
a definite difference between what a normal like jumbo jack was and that. Trust me, there's a big taste difference.
Rob has an answer for my burger question. He says it's because of gravity. The meat holds the other stuff in place and packs it better.
Well, it's probably true.
You don't want lettuce.
No, I just want the stuff.
Damn it.
On
You
the
don't
top
want
of the
lettuce and
burger.
tomato just floating in space around you.
It's the new Cosmic Burger at Culver's.
Space? You've never been?
Wait, you've been to space?
Is this Aaron? Yeah.
Yeah.
The squeak when you eat the curds.
Yeah, they're so deep fried. Like when you bite into it, like it's just it's so good. They are very tasty.
Gio saying Culver's or Freddy's. I don't
Nope,
know.
Culver's 100%.
Never
Freddy's
heard
is
of either
gross.
one, but
I don't know Freddy's.
I would not be opposed to trying both.
Freddy's is kind of like a smash burger, but I don't like their patties. They're like real smash, like very thin, and then they do shoestring fries.
No,
And like I don't want to grab like 1,000 fries just to feel like I'm eating French fries.
hate that.
No,
You just
They
want
got
to
good ice
feel
cream.
alive while you're
I
eating
want to
it.
feel alive.
Our pal Noodles in the chat. Never have I heard a man complain about where the condiments are on a burger. Well, you haven't
Condiment
hung out with the right people. I'll teach you a thing or two before the
Condiment
show's done.
placement is
Hey.
pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Oh, wait a minute. Super chat from Iraq, the alternate Iraq. Iraq Army, let's go. $5. That is very kind of you, sir. Not
You forgot one of the
necessary.
words.
I did
forgot
not.
the-
That's exactly how it showed up on my screen.
Oh, there was another word there. You didn't read
It's
it.
got a hard G in it.
Yeah, it says nope, it's gone. I'm sorry. I can't read
Oh,
it. whatever.
sorry. Yeah.
Freddy's is a nightmare.
Yeah, I don't like Freddy's.
Elm Street. Oh, I thought it was an
Duh.
You got me, Tom. You got me.
Damn.
All right. So now I'm gonna have to look for a Culver's when I'm in California.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to call
Midwesty.
Rob. I'm gonna just
Midwest.
pay Rob to chauffeur me to all the good food places.
Dude, I actually had Culver's in Florida. They have it in Florida.
They do. All
Because
right.
they're Wisconsin based, so they're not like East Coast, West Coast. They're just
It's
wherever
like
they-
Midwest
I
and
don't want-
Southern.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had it in Florida.
All right. I'll have to see if there's one in the West Palm Beach area then. I will definitely go to it. All right. We need to move on to some other things before we get to segment 2 and all the other
Now I'm
updates and
hungry.
stuff. I wanted to talk to you about this thing. So I've talked about during our New York Comic Con shows where they have the Amazon Market now built into the Javits Center, where you scan your phone or something like that, or your credit card. You can just put it, tap it there, and you walk into the little bodega area that they have. Take whatever you want, and you walk out, and it automatically knows what you took, who to charge it to, all of that stuff. And I've been fascinated by that for the fact of it's like that's a lot of cameras and a lot of equipment and technology you need just to do something simple where you could just take it to the counter, pay for it, and leave, right? But everything's convenience nowadays. Well, they've upgraded that technology in certain areas, and this is bothersome because there's a Whole Foods not too far, and I went to take a look, and they have this, and it's really fucking weird. So I'm going to show you this video here. Look at this new technology and tell me if you have a problem with what this is looking to do. Here we go.
So you've come to a Whole Foods.
All right. So it's a guy. He's at the register. He's checking out.
We tolerate minorities.
See, you can.
They're scanning for skin color.
All right.
What?
They are, yes, but they're also scanning. You scan your credit card. It reads your handprint, like your palm print. He
Tell
puts
you how
all this
long you have
information.
left to live.
It's the WebMD.
Exactly. So you're sitting there. You're going through this. He's registering his card. So every time he goes forward now to buy stuff, you just put your palm over this reader, and that's it. You don't have to have your card, your account information. Do whatever you do. There's a kiosk now that they have, like when you come in, to set everything up. You're putting your credit card in. You're putting all your personal information. It scans your hand, so you have the print. And then going forward, you just walk in and go beep, like that. Take whatever you want. Fill up the card in the store. Walk right out. You're walking out with a whole cart of groceries and stuff, and it knows. Or
here's the thing, though.
It knows.
He's doing like 75 steps to do the exact same thing you would do at the register. Like, why are you even doing this?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, he had to go in, scan both hands, put in a code, do this.
It's just a convenience.
This is not
thing.
any much faster.
Yeah.
You even had to flash a fake smile at the cashier girl.
Right.
That's where I'm out.
Like, I'm already weirded out by taking my phone and using the NPC thing. Like, I'll do that every now and then. I'm still used to using my card, but I don't see having to scan my handprint and still doing the same amount of steps. Like, what is this? How is this faster?
Yeah, Tom from Alberta, they've gone from self-checkout to no checkout. Yeah, I mean, but they were already doing that where you could scan your card as you go in.
Right.
Like I just put the credit card down. It's the tap sensor. Like when you go to check out, you tap it, boom, it knows your card. It knows you, I guess. You go through, you pick what you want, you put it in your bag, and you walk out, and it charges you. You like within a minute, you get a receipt to your email.
Right, but that's faster than what this video just showed.
Yes, but I'm saying this, I guess, is an evolution of what they're doing with it, and so you can just anywhere because you could go to any store now that's Amazon affiliated that has this, and you're good. Like you registered at that kiosk at a Whole Foods, but if you go to some of those Amazon supermarkets, or if you go to what's the other stores that they own? I'm spacing on it, but anyway, any of their Amazon owned properties, you can go and you do that. I'm like you, Jordan, where it's like I had a hard enough time when iPhones and the iPads started to have that fingerprint. It had to scan your thumbprint on the home button in order to unlock it without the code. Now you have it where it scans your eyes for your retina coding to open up your phone, open up your iPad. The Clear service I use in the airport, even though it's supposed to be like heavy duty, high level security feature, you go through there, you stand on the mark, you see the beeps, and you see the beeps, you see the light come at you, and you see a little red or green thing. It position your eyes the right way, it turns green, boom, scans you, has all your information registered with the government, and you're good to go. And yeah, you cut the lines, which is fantastic, but that's worrisome too. And now it's like, oh, now we got your palm print, you have your fingerprint, you have your eye print.
Yeah, because like, what are they using that information for? Eventually, they're using it for something else. Because you register that, right? And then now you'll palm print. Like, why?
I feel like the only place we need like no interaction shopping is like adult toy stores, really. Like, let's just not have any interaction.
That's when you need the barn where you just drive through and someone throws whatever fun things you want in your car and you drive off.
And
when I go to Dave's drive-through, I just want to drive through and open my window. Never touch your
pornography.
I ordered ahead through the app. I got my reward bonus points, and then I pull in, and they just put it in your car, and you go. No eye contact, no questions asked.
Exactly.
But if you do want to go into the store, they still make you feel comfortable and secure. They still have the beads hanging from the ceiling that you have to walk through in order to get to the back room, which is just the entire floor of.
Why is my 8th grade English teacher always in here?
Working part-time. Teaching doesn't pay the bills.
It's that room my dad goes into at the video store.
Rob saying this looks like a parody video from South Park from a few seasons ago. South Park, Black Mirror, Simpsons have all been. Although Black Mirror and Simpsons, South Park are more based on articles they're reading, future technology projects, things like that. Simpsons just keeps looking, and it's like, how absurd can we make this? They'll never do this, and then it actually happens 2-3 decades later. Then that's the case. But that bothers me because it is different levels of frustration with this. One, you're scanning your handprint, so you have some kind of coding of mine, an identification. The other thing, like you said, is it's such a process. They try to make, oh, look, you do this, do this, do this. It's easy, and then you never have to do it again. But still, you got to go through all those steps just to make this happen when I could have just grabbed my stuff and left already.
And there was one other thing I noticed in there. When he got to the register, he scanned his hand. Then he had to put in his rewards card number or whatever, his phone number, and then scan his hand again. Why can't we just have all the information? If you already took my information, I should be able to scan my hand and you give me my
That was just showing
box.
you what the technology can do when you weren't registered.
But that was at the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning. So if
in.
you don't want to register for the whole thing, you could do it right there. You put your card in. I don't know why you need the palm scan at that point, unless that's registering you at the register when you're checking out. But then they have the kiosk so that you can go in, get it done, and then do your shopping, scan your palm, and then you're out. It does seem like it's an extra step as far as the other Amazon technology, where you just take stuff off the shelves, out of the refrigerator, remember the Saturday Night Live bit where they talked about the Amazon stores and they had all the people in there trying the store out for the first time were all black people.
Oh yeah,
and they're like, no, you just leave. Wait, no, where do I gotta go pay for it? No, you don't have to pay. You can just walk out.
And they're all like, nah, I'm not gonna get caught by that.
What you're doing. Yeah, great bit. If you can go on YouTube and look for the Amazon Fresh with who was it? Keenan, yeah.
But they didn't show in the commercial.
He's like, I know what's going to happen. Where do I pay for my beverage?
There's robots now that follow the darker skinned folks around the store instead of humans.
Funny enough, they're still Korean.
All right. So there's that. The future is going to destroy us all.
That's just so crazy.
I didn't know palm prints were like fingerprints.
I didn't know either.
Yeah, that's what
you make like fake, glove hands that you could put on over and you start using somebody else.
Or do the Elmer's glue thing where you peel it off like that. And then it's like that's the next Mission Impossible. The guy's passed out, drugged. Tom Cruise just puts his hand in Elmer glue, peel it off, puts it on the thing, starts charging a fortune at Whole Foods.
But if you have some crazy renegades who like knocks out the cashier and then uses their palm, like in the action movies when they beat up the bad guys and use their palm to get into the door. The handprint.
You always get the one stupid in the group, the one stupid guy where they're all running out of the stuff without scanning anything, and the guy's like, "Oh wait, I just got to scan my palm." Now they know who it is, and they're like, "What are you doing?" Cops show up. It's a whole.
I think it's funny that actual stores where you have to pay are having problems with everybody just shoplifting everything. and now they're just trying to. Oh yeah, let's just have nobody in here. Might as well.
Yeah. Do you ever go into a store and hand them cash and they look confused? We've gotten to a point where now everything's just scan this, scan that, and then when you hand them a 20, they're like, I don't know what to do with this.
They had that, and then they had problems with lesser technology, but the self-checkout areas where theft was up all across the board on a lot of these bigger stores because they were expanding their self-checkout areas. And it used to be they were on either end of the store, and then you had your registers in the middle where 90% of them were never open. Only 1 to 2 registers were actually ever open. Walmart near me, and I think Target's going the same way, got rid of there's no registers. God. It's all self-checkout areas. There's painted areas on the floor where you have to push your cart onto that area in order for the machine to work, because there's a camera looking at your you checking out, looking in your cart, looking in your bags, looking in every direction that you're doing all of this stuff, and then you're doing it all yourself, and there's still massive lines. It's actually, I think,
because no one knows how to do anything. No one knows how to scan. They don't know how to look up the codes for all their produce. I know the produce is supposed to have all these barcodes, but half the time they don't work. And then they have the audacity to come over and it's like, do you need help? And then try to get your receipt at the door. I'm like, you're not paying me to do this job, so you don't get to check my work.
Right.
Let me go.
Here's the solution to that is also you throw all the organic produce in your thing and you just happen to take a peek at what the other ones.
Oh yeah, get the regular bananas, 40-11.
Yeah. So everybody gets free organic produce.
Or like when you go to the
trade-off.
bulk bins where you're like, I'm gonna get the really good granola, but the
All right,
cheap.
so
granola.
the organic celery is $3, but the regular celery is $1.49. So what Jay is saying is memorize the code for the $1.49 and put all that in there, and now you're getting all the high-end groceries for regular prices.
Hey, if I'm going to work for the store, I'm getting the employee discount.
So
Sorry.
this is how the white people lift from the stores, not
Right, we're
where
just getting
everybody else
organic
is just
food.
walking out the doors, and the greeters and security are like, I can't stop these people from stealing all this shit from the Best Buy and the Target and the Walgreens and all of that stuff. Target's really bad. Target has all the toiletry stuff is behind glass. You have to hit a button and have somebody come over to open it for you. Same thing with laundry detergent and fabric softener. You have to go over there, hit another button. Somebody that's got to come over and open the case so you can get your it's ridiculous where it's gotten.
Yeah, thankfully I don't live in an area where they've locked that much stuff down yet, but it's coming.
They also build in to all their overhead is that they're going to lose money on these self-checkouts. So it's expected, and you should take full advantage.
We're just proving them right.
Yeah.
It's
We
a
want to make
service.
sure, their forecasters are doing that right.
Tom saying theft at a self-checkout? Well, you get what you pay for with cashiers.
I'm sorry, I
Hire me then.
Your store.
Noodles says, good. You didn't hire me. I shouldn't have to scan my own stuff. So if things accidentally get missed, that's not my fault. You never trained me. Yes.
100% right.
Yeah, I may have accidentally got some beef jerky from Noodles.
Also, if you are like a Walmart where they try and check your receipts, you don't have to do that.
No, it's against
You
store
only-
policy, actually.
Yeah, you only have to do it at like the big box, like the Costco's and BJ's and Sam's Clubs, because in your membership thing, it lists that you have to check your receipt at the door. But anywhere else where they try to do that, you could just walk right by them and they can't do a damn thing about it.
Well, I've always told the stories about Walmart's, because I don't even think Target bothers, but Walmart, any Walmart I've been to, no matter where in the country, not just around here, they have the greeters or whatever, the old people at the doors to look at your receipt, to look under your card to make sure that's on the list, whatever. And Jordan knows this. I've talked about this in many times, where if there's a line, I sit there like this with the receipt holding in my hand out like this. So if they're going through people and there's like 3 or 4 people back and I'm sitting there like this holding the receipt, they almost every time just wave me through. I walk over and go, here you go. And they go, okay, you're good. And then I walk out.
Don't even do that. Just walk out. They can't do anything about it.
No, I understand that, but they could cause a fuss, and I don't want that. But if they're going through other people's carts and stuff, and I wave like this, I was like, if I was a different person, I'd probably be walking out with tons
People
of
just walk by them, show them the receipt.
talk
Yeah.
of They don't care. It's just like, here you go. I'm trying to help. Yeah, go ahead. And I walk out while they're still dealing with the one lady who doesn't. She just put the receipt back in her purse, and she doesn't want to have to get it out again. And
They have no right to do that. So you can just walk right on by and feel super self-righteous about it.
Yeah.
Do it.
My thing is,
it's a great feeling.
I'm always thinking, if he stops me, I'm going to tell him, look, I have the rest of the day off. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to make you check everybody else behind me. Stop singling me out.
That's the thing. They cannot. You can just keep
they
walking.
can't.
They can't do anything.
Noodles from the chat, an 85-inch television for the price of a Snickers. Oops. Yeah.
Oops.
I'm sure it happens.
Need a TV? Grab a Snickers.
Tom from Alberta. Walmart's self-checkout now gives you the option of a printed receipt or an email receipt,
true.
so the door guy doesn't always have to check the receipt.
Well, they're not supposed, it's literally a store policy for Walmart that they're not allowed to do that. They put people there and thinking that people aren't going to dispute it, but essentially they can't check your receipts.
Nope.
And they can't stop you, which means, you're thugged out, store loss prevention guy who was walking around the store looking at diapers.
Right.
He'll come check you out maybe outside the store. And that at that point, it's theft, but they're not going to stop you.
Here's another fun one. If you're into theft, have someone go in and buy a TV
Fun
or
with
something.
theft.
Have someone go in, buy a TV, get the receipt, and then hand you the receipt, and you go in and out the other door on the other side of the store holding that TV, and you already have the receipt.
You're doing the old printed movie ticket bit that I used to do with friends, where like I would grab his ticket and then go to the exit, give my buddy the ticket, so he just walks in with the stub. So we got like 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
I get where your head's at.
What you're talking about is the same thought that goes through my head where if you're in the parking lot and you grab a cart from the corral, right, and someone left their receipt in there, I go, I could get all these items right now and just walk out with that receipt like I paid for it. But then you look at the items like, I don't want any of this. Like, this is not stuff that I give a shit about to make it even worth the attempt. But you could. Doesn't mean you should. Over in the Tropical Punch in the chat there. Grocery delivery is one of my favorite modern conveniences after air conditioning. I'm never going back to shopping in the store again if I can help it. I know I see the trucks all around my area. People are getting stuff. I do it for Target once in a while, and it's usually for
just to drive up
kid stuff. Like it's, if I got to do a bulk order of diapers, wipes, there's special detergents I have to use for the clothes and those kind of things. All the kid stuff, I'll order it there and just have it done. But I'm one of those people. I like going to the grocery store.
I used to when I could go at 1 a.m, but they.
How much would the consumer suffer if I just ordered what I know I needed, and then we have no products to try every week when all the new stuff comes out? Because the majority of the stuff that we get, most of the people don't even know it's available or out yet. So it's the kind of the cost of doing business.
Yeah, I found a weird, fun little loophole with Walmart's like grocery pickup, where if they have to substitute an item,
you don't have to show them the receipt, so they pay for it and they leave it at your stoop.
No, what I do is I don't have them deliver. I actually just go drive up and they'll put it in my car. But every time they want to substitute whatever item for another item that might be more expensive because they started recharging you now, just deny it. And then the idiot who went shopping for you doesn't want to go put it back. So they stick it in your thing anyway. So you still get the item and you didn't pay for it because they'll take it off your bill. That's almost every time. It's like 99% foolproof on that one.
See, this would work better if we were back on broadcast radio, but we could do a whole segment called Unethical. And then we take all these unethical things and try to convince everybody, ourselves and the public, that these are things to do. Like, we should be doing all this stuff here is stuff we should be preaching to people. Now, of course, technically it's not legal, and if you get in trouble, that's your own fault. But we can at least say that it sounds like a good idea.
You're like, why buy ketchup? You just go somewhere where it has the pump, and then you put your ketchup bottle under there and you just fill it back up.
Right.
I just saw a TikTok of somebody who's seeing how many consecutive days they can sneak into a gym by scanning anything. Because they're not standing there watching, so you can hold up any UPC to the thing and just go beep, and they walk right in.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty fucking funny.
That's pretty funny.
He's just scanning the barcode of his soda.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even, like, it says invalid barcode or invalid whatever.
Yeah, but they heard the noise.
Yeah, they heard you make the noise, and then or something like that, and then in like 10 seconds that message goes away and resets because it's got to keep the line moving. So
imagine you're not even scanning; you're just doing beep.
Yeah,
you just walk in.
Not paying attention. You just beep. Walk in.
Jay, do you know in certain airports they have self check-in for the gates at to go to the plane?
No, but I've seen where when you're getting on the plane, they have facial recognition computers, and you stand there, and it goes, boop, it pulls your name up, and you walk in.
They did that to me the last time I went to Vegas.
Yeah, that's at the gate, so it's not like your main entry in there. But when you're getting on the plane, instead of showing your ID or your ticket, they'll just have a camera. You step up.
Yeah, they did that for me. It was weird.
Of what just happened on my thing?
Yeah, because I'm so used to doing my my boarding pass, and they didn't require it the last time. It kind of weirded me out. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
You're making me take off my shoes, but I can't give you an actual ID. That's cool.
They have the self check-ins for the gates at Dallas Airport. I was there a couple weeks ago. When I realized at this point, because you know how they say groups 1 and 2 get the board first, and the problem with that shit too is like, all right, I get it. Elderly or people who need medical assistance or whatever to get on the plane, people with young children need to get on the plane, people with active military service, things like that, they get on the plane. I get that. That's fine. But then groups 1 and 2, you're thinking, okay, group 1 is people paying for first class and like the business class kind of thing. Group 2 is usually the people at the back of the plane that they let them on and start building it up. And before group 2 is even over, they announce that, all the overhead bin space is gone because everyone has their luggage with them instead of a carry-on. So then Like, I paid all this money to sit up at the front of the plane right there, and I don't even get a bin. It's bullshit. Anyway, so you go to scan, and I'm seeing, for some reason, I'm in the business class, which is right outside the first, but I'm group 5. So I'm like, wait, I don't get to go on early, but I'm in the front of the plane, but I don't get to go on early because they got to let everybody else in the back get on first. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I see them. I go, this is bullshit. And I see they have the one main gate where they're still going, and they're trying to check people's overhead stuff in because it's not going to work. And I go, I'm in group 5. What if I just walk over to the self-check-in, scan the thing? Will it go off? Will it not let me through because I'm the wrong group number? I don't think so. So when they called group 2, I walked right over to there instead of the main line, scanned, walked right onto the plane. I go, I'm doing this every time now. When they call group 2, I walk over to the self-check-in and I get on the plane, and I'm not going to hear anything less.
Yeah, you could also just get online, be like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And usually the line is so packed behind you.
Yeah, they don't want to make you get out.
Well, you got to get to the back of the line. Try not, and then you walk away and just mosey on down like some sort of rom-com, like somebody's going to run after you at that point. Let's see what we have here. Tom from Alberta. Boxed appliances have 2 or 3 UPC codes on them. If you scan the wrong one, they come over and look. Then you scan the wrong one again, so they hear the beep, and then they send you on your way. Okay, that makes sense. Noodle saying, I had a guy I work with who actually had a register from a store, and they would get the codes and printouts receipts and then go to the store, grab them, walk out with the receipt. He would ask if I wanted stuff because he would sell it to me for a huge discount because he would get it for free.
Oh my God, I just thought of another
this unethical segment, I think, has just been born.
This is gangbusters. So if you ever knew a Target employee, get their employee number. Even if they get fired, they cycle the numbers by 1 every time.
Okay.
So at some point, you'll find yourself an employee number you can log in with and get the employee discount. For years, I kept getting the Target employee discount every time I bought anything. So I got 10% plus my 5%. It was wonderful. I got to redo that.
That's not
bad. Yeah.
All right.
Some people aren't
now
smart.
Now we're committing cyber crimes. This is great.
We
took it from the streets, and we're now on the internet. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. We do got to move on. I want to hit a few other topics before we get to segment 2 here because we've been going so long. Much to my delight, and probably to the dismay of the promoters, Coachella is in trouble. Coachella tickets are readily available according to all the promotion and media blasts they've been pushing. Ticket sales are the slowest it's been in over 10 years. Now, a week or 2 ago, Jordan showed me the lineup, and you said this lineup sucks for
there was
Coachella.
Like 4 bands between 3 different days that I even remotely heard of or cared about. Everything else looked like garbage.
And then the big thing at the bottom, and No Doubt, is going to reunite for a show at Coachella. But it seems like is it 3 days or 4 days? Because I know it's 2 weekends. But they're just doing it all one weekend now, right?
It's 3 days, and they split it up over 2 weeks. So you get 3 days, one lineup, and then 3 days the next weekend, same lineup. Right. You did. So they're splitting it up. It's not like like when we were young. When I went the first weekend. I went Saturday, and they did Saturday, Sunday, and then the next weekend they did another one. So it was Saturday, Sunday. Okay,
so here is the lineup for Coachella, and like each day has some bands where you're like, oh yeah, I know that band, and then it quickly drops off. Like Friday, April 12th and 19th. Well, it's not getting different bands. They're the same bands for.
No, that's what I said. Same bands every weekend. It's just they're doing this lineup for this weekend.
So they're being lazy.
Same lineup the next weekend. Yeah. So it's not like you're getting.
That's why no one's buying tickets.
All right. Lana Del Rey. You kind of know that name. I don't remember a song that she did. She do Royals? Was that her?
No, that was that New Zealander chick.
Lord.
Yeah.
So Lana Del Rey, I know the name. I'm sure it was a jingle.
Summertime Sadness, that was like her big hit.
Sure, it was a jingle ball thing or something that I was working at. I don't know. So you get to the next one. Peso Pluma.
Never heard of it. Them.
Little Uzi Vert.
I've heard. Never want to listen. They buried the Deftones like 5 bands in.
Hold on.
Behind Biz Rap.
Deftones. Yeah. But the rest of this, you're kind of going through like Butthead, where you're like, words. Yeah. I don't know most of these bands here. All right, let's look at the Next Day. Maybe the Next Day has a better. Tyler, the Creator. Okay, I know him. I know some of his stuff. Not bad. Blur. Wow, Blur, because the guy's been doing
The Gorillaz
for so long. This is nice to see Blur coming back. All right, I'd be up to see Blur. I like their stuff. Ice Spice. All right, I knew her from showing up at a Taylor Swift concert, and that was important for some reason, but I don't know much of her stuff. Gaffigan. Jim Gaffigan's going to be there, it looks like. I don't know how to say that name. Gaffelstein?
Oh, I'm like, well, maybe.
All right, Sublime with Bradley Knowles' kid. They fired Rome, and they brought the kid in now. So he's
Sublime
there.
with Jacob.
Okay. Words.
Is just Rome going to be on here?
Words, yeah.
Could you imagine? He's on the opposite end of the show.
Rome alone.
With his brand new
playing
hit,
day
I
3.
used to be in Sublime. All right, there's nobody else for that day. Let's go to the third day then. Doja Cat. Okay, massive name in the music industry. Has a bunch of hits.
Yeah.
Right? You know her. J Balvin. I know the name. I don't know why I know the name, but I know it's a name.
Yeah, but you know why? Because he had a McDonald's meal, remember?
That's
the J Balvin meal.
I didn't want
That's the only reason why you probably knew that.
I didn't want to jump into that, but I was like, did he have that? Well, wait, Bad Bunny had one, and then
I liked him better when it was J Balvin and Bob's.
I liked it better. What if there's just, you know what? He should take that and then just make those decals where he's peeing on stuff, and then people will put it all over his cars in the Spanish
Good money
community.
maker idea.
Yeah, right.
Balvin and the Chipmunks. You know, that'd be a whole thing of it.
Our pal Gabby from down old Mexico way. Peso Pluma is a Mexican dude. He went to my high school. He was
What does
not in
Gabby
my
know about
class.
anybody in Mexico?
Gabby knows everything.
Ask him if he's looking for a chef job. We know a place.
She's connected.
Right.
All right, so J Balvin.
Make my burrito.
Nobody
Hey,
else.
Taking Back Sunday is on there.
Little Yachty, I knew from a bad commercial at one point. He did a commercial. It might have
Wasn't
been
it like a
Target.
Sprite commercial?
I think he did a Target commercial for Christmas one year, and that was it. As far as I know him. Babe Alexa, I met her a couple times. I know her.
Taking
Right,
Back
Take
Sunday.
It Back Sunday. I do like them.
I think
Right,
I was
but
the first
again-
person to ever play them on the radio.
Really?
Again, buried about 15 to 16 bands in. Like the font is getting smaller. That's when you know you're not as important anymore.
Here's a band. Barry Can't Swim. I'm curious just based on the name. Did
Was
Barry
somebody
die?
waiting-
Was Barry an old friend of theirs that drowned in the quarry when it flooded one year?
Barry
don't
Can't
know.
Swim is the solo project of Drowning Pool.
There it is. All comes
100%.
together. Look. Latin Mafia. That sounds like a fun time. I'm sure that audience is fantastic. Yeah, I don't know any of these other people here.
Jockstrap.
Nobody, nothing. Oh, and No Doubt. But it doesn't say
and-
what day. Just No Doubt's going to show up randomly, and you have to watch every show to see is this next act going to be No Doubt. It's always a surprise.
Does this say little DJ Seinfeld?
Yeah, I saw that. What's the deal with music?
And a
Just
one
like quotes.
and a two.
It's just all those like bass things.
He was my butler. Yeah, it's just lines from the show. He's working into like a dance beat.
It's
Right.
drum and bass minus the drum.
All right. Well, Coachella's not doing well, and they want you
so
to know
bad.
that it's happening, and you should be buying tickets. And wouldn't it be something if you found out it's a comedy term, but if Coachella had to paper the room, means that they couldn't sell enough tickets, so they have that giant like soccer
away.
field or whatever that thing
It's
is.
where they take their screen and they put it in there to make it seem smaller. Is that what are you talking about?
No, it's where they just give the tickets out to get people to come for
Oh,
free,
yeah, yeah.
just because they got to make it look like it's something for advertisers.
Well, they got all these festivals now where Coachella's not the draw that it used to be. Like if that was like the big, because they got rid of Warped Tour, they got rid of, like the thing one in Chicago. Like there wasn't these big festivals. Now they're starting to make their comebacks. Where like I went to when we were young. They do like all these rock fests now.
Well, the main problem
Coachella's not the draw anymore.
I looked up a couple of articles about it, and they don't really focus on the lineup I mean, because they say, look, No Doubt's going to be there and Doja Cat. Like, they say the big names, but they're not really focusing on that it's just 100 different people no one gives a shit about or barely even knows. It's that it's too expensive.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
Way too expensive because they've raised the prices again because they got to pay all these other surcharge fees. I'm sure it's like Ticketmaster, Live Nation who's handling all that. So you're paying those fees. You're paying vendors' fees. You're paying all these other things that they're going to charge you for because that's why water is $6 to $8 for a bottle of water at those places. Then you got parking. If you can even get parking, they're charging for the parking in these empty field lots to go over to the empty field where the concert's happening. So this, and then it became a thing where it was the place to be seen, like young rich people and influencers and celebrities were all going there. It doesn't. I don't think it means that much anymore, especially if if regular people are saying it's too expensive. I can't even get near anything to do with this because I just can't afford it. The lineup's not that strong. There's a whole series of problems here for this year. And just like we've said with other conventions and other concerts and massive gatherings like this, Coachella might be at the point where it's on the way out. Because last year, the majority of the people who watched Coachella were watching the YouTube streams or the YouTube concerts put up after the fact. So you don't need to be there, spend all that money when you could go. Look, if they said, look, if you pay $25, $30 and it unlocks you to watch all the programming from this year's Coachella, that's worth it. I'd sit there at home and watch it rather than go to the concert anymore and do all of that stuff. So,
well, I've noticed this trend with Coachella lately where, remember, like when you would watch like the footage from Coachella or like you'd be reading news articles and they'd be like, yeah, Coachella went great. This was the lineup. All of a sudden Prince was there or someone was there that showed up and was unexpected. Now they're tipping their hand just to get people. Because last year it was Blink 182's coming back. Come see them. We've added them to the lineup. You got to come. This year it's No Doubt. You know what I mean? Like they're doing they're not even being secretive in what they have to try to get people in. So these are the draws now.
You lost that fear of missing out factor that they had because you didn't know what the surprises would be. All right. We do need to take a break. When we come back, we're going to race through segment 2, television, movie, streaming updates, all that stuff to let you know about because who has the time other than us to tell you about it? We will be right back.
More. It's Eric Nagel. It's Eric Nagel. Next.
Jordan, Valentine's Day is coming up faster than we expected. Each time we do this show, it seems like it's a week closer.
It is.
Time is funny like that.
Yeah, it's so odd.
And you got to start planning ahead. You know, don't go to restaurants because everybody crowds to restaurants on Valentine's Day and it's just a limited menu and it's overpriced and they're just going to nickel and dime you because women pressure you into believing Valentine's Day actually means anything. So why don't you cut them off at the pass? I'm going to coin that phrase. And get them something that they're absolutely going to love so they can't get mad at you and hate you for the rest of your life.
Something unique.
Something unique. Something different. Something gold.
Something.
Everybody knows what the hottest color is right now. Jordan, do you? Are you aware of the hottest color?
It has been the hottest color.
For one more time, I'm going to beat you.
Puce.
He should put out a puce. He should just keep coming out with ridiculous colors for his roses so that they're just more difficult for people doing live reads to read. It's like, I can't read. What is this guy doing? He's insane. He's
just pulling out crayons out of the 64 pack at this point.
Look, so the hottest color right now, I think we have an idea of what it is. So say I love you to your wife, fiance, girlfriend, sweetheart, significant other, daughter, the they in your life, whatever you have, with the world's best gift in a brand new color from our pal Steven Singer Jewelers. That's right, the I Hate Steven Singer guy has made maybe the most coveted, fastest selling 24 karat gold dipped rose color in the history of him doing the roses. It's called what, Jordan?
Malibu Stacy.
It has a new hat. No, it's called Malibu Pink. Boom! There it is. It arrived.
Gorgeous.
Look at that. Look at it. Love it. Kiss it.
Pictures don't do it justice. That looks really good in person.
It's very vivid. It's very pink. And
very pink.
Rightfully so because it's named Malibu pink. Yes, it's the hottest color. Everybody knows this. The iconic color is being seen all over in fashion, shoes, accessories, movies, TV, maybe even a movie that was snubbed for all major awards for this year's Oscars.
Just the female ones.
Pink is everywhere. Talking about Barbie. Now available in Steven's 24-karat gold-dipped roses, the number one gift for Valentine's Day. Real roses covered in luxurious. Ooh, fancy-free. 24-karat pure gold, deeply dipped and hand-finished. This was pointed out to me. Some people noticed. Steven loves a good hand finishing.
So we love a good hand finishing.
Hand-finished, skilled artisan by skilled artisans to last forever. The hand job cuts like a knife. Starts at $59. He doesn't want that in the copy. Starts at $59. Free shipping, free personalized Valentine's Day card, and free lifetime guarantee. And arrives in a signature gift box. Beware of the knockoffs. Beware of the other Steven, the evil Steven Singer. Copycats, fakes, they're all the same, and they aren't even real. If you're seeing them on eBay, that's bullshit. You can't get them there. You can only get them at one place, Steven Singer Jewelers, on the other corner of 8th and Walnut, in the heart of Philadelphia, or as the kids call it, Philadelphia. Or go to IHateStevenSinger.com. Get yourself a Malibu pink 24-karat gold-dipped rose, and tell them that your pal Eric Nagel forced you to go in there and spend your hard-earned money on this.
It's Eric Nagel. Follow the show on all social medias at It's Eric Nagel for ways to watch or listen to the show, both live and on demand. Go to itsericnagel.com.
This is The Tick, and you are listening to Eric Nagel. Don't let the villains have their way. Spoon!
Segment 2 of the show, Eric Jordan, our pal Jay Wolf is here with you for segment 2, where we talk about television, movie, streaming updates. We go through all this stuff to let you know about your entertainment, things to watch, things not to watch. There's just so much of it going on. Real quick, things that we were watching. I finished Monarch finally.
Hooray.
I'm done with that. Fantastic. I don't know if Kurt Russell just only wanted to do a one and done run with that, because I'm like, oh, that was a bit predictable that he was going to be killed off.
Yeah, well, but see, we don't know if he's killed off.
Yeah,
I feel like I said
there. Yeah.
Like I said, I feel like we've lost his son. There's no need for any more flashbacks. We've caught up. There's nothing else for us. I think we could still continue with Kurt. I'm sure through the magic of gravity's weird, time is different. Some monster picked him up and flew him off to a volcano. I don't know. We'll probably see Kurt Russell again. I just don't know.
I heard this was actually the prequel for Land of the Lost, starring Kurt Russell.
And
yeah,
he
becomes a sleaze stack.
Lust, starring all the Vince McMahon dildos. So
I heard
the show
segment number 2 is Vince's favorite segment.
The show is great. It's on Apple TV, Apple Plus, whatever. It's a kind of a bridge between the Godzilla movies that you see from Warner Brothers, the ones with King Kong and what have you, all the other Titans. I don't know where this. I mean, we know the timeline. It ends in 2017, 18, somewhere in there. So it's around when the movies were starting up, or at least the.
It's after Godzilla, but I think before King of the Monsters. So before all that King Ghidorah stuff for the second movie that
that world they were in, that realm, seems to be like the halfway point between the Earth that we know and the Middle Earth that these creatures exist.
Whoa! That's copyright. Don't say Middle Earth. Peter Jackson.
Bring it, RR. Let's go. Let's do it.
I had no idea that that was Kurt Russell's son until I saw their names back to back in the credits, and I was like, "Oh, all right, that makes perfect sense."
Right.
I'll do you one better. I didn't realize that he's U.S. agent in the Marvel movies until I was watching the show, and I'm like, he looks like that guy. And then I looked it up. I'm like, oh, he is that guy. So if you're worried about nepotism in Hollywood, apparently Kurt Russell and his son can't be in any project unless they're there together. So they're in the Marvel universe. They're in the Monster universe. They're just conquering it all. They'll be in the Overboat universe by no time. And when they do Thing 3,
we could do a prequel Overboard movie.
Or they'll reboot the Thing with his son as the Kurt Russell role.
Couldn't
There
be
are
worse.
Or
definitely
Stargate. I would love to see
There are
him
definitely
as
some thing comparisons. When they're in the Arctic area, I'm like, this is just the thing. Like, what's
Yeah,
happening?
when it came through, I'm like, that's a little weird.
yeah.
That's just a giant dog.
Jordan, what have
That
you
being
been
said,
watching?
If you want a lot of monster action, this is not the show for you.
Yeah, it
Till
does.
later.
I was hoping for.
It started off strong for like an episode or two, and then it kind of got weird with like the brother sister dynamic, and it got real like people heavy and kind of sucked. And you get like a monster at the end of the episode. Oh my god! And then it goes to the next, and that was weird. It picked up. The last two episodes were pretty ramped up as far as what you got to see. So if you fight through that stuff, you'll end up liking it. I when the big reveal happened at the end, I was just punching the ceiling. I was like, this is cool. Like that's a good way to bridge these movies and get everything all cohesive. So I liked it. I have been
band,
watching,
by the way, Cohesive in Cambria.
Yeah, it's my
Continue.
favorite.
What have you been watching, Jordan?
I watched about 20 minutes of Wonka today.
The new one.
It's horrible.
Oh, okay.
It is this movie did not need to be made. It starts off immediately in song. I don't like him as Wonka. Like it's just super predictable. It's very saccharine, like just overly sweet for no reason. I think the director of Paddington did this.
Okay.
So, I mean, if you've got little kids that care at all about this kind of stuff or get easily amused by fun songs and bright colors, maybe, but I couldn't get past 20, 30 minutes of it.
Is that what attracted you to it?
I like a young Willy Wonka.
You're like a young boy with candy is what you're saying here.
Yeah.
Got it.
I want him to give me the candy for once.
What else are you watching?
I finished up the entire Ted series. It's like 7-8 episodes. That's hilarious. I did not want to like it. I did not like the movies all that much. This show is very funny. Like funnier than the movies were. And I think mainly because I don't like Mark Wahlberg as an actor. I think he's just wooden and he's not good at anything. This show was really, really good. It's weird because it takes place in the 90s. Like it's a prequel series to the first movie. But it's like set in Boston. So like heavy Boston accents constantly. Like the dad is the stereotypical Boston dad who's like, why don't you go talk to him about, his feelings? And he's like, why would I do that? And he's always drinking. It's fucking hilarious. Like it's really funny. Like I think you would like it. I know Rob liked it. I just had a good time with it. Okay. I was actually bummed out. It was only 7 episodes. Like it ended it. I'm like, oh, there's no more. Yeah, so that's a good one.
We've pretty much in the streaming era of entertainment, we've pretty much adopted what the UK has been doing all this time. It's like, you don't need to do 20, 24 episodes of TV shows. You can just do 6, 10 and be done with it and then come back 3 years later and do season 2. Seems to be the style that we're going through now. What else are you watching?
I watched Aquaman 2, The Search for More Money. It's not good. It is
I'm told
nothing.
The CGI is really poor in it.
The CGI is very poor. The writing is bad. Like you could tell that they had to redo the script and cut things out, and some of the storylines very odd. It's like they rewrote the character completely. I think I would have liked this movie had the rest of the DC universe not existed. If I had no prior knowledge of what's going on in the world or what's going on or what's out there, like half this shit shouldn't be happening because Superman's alive.
Right.
Batman's alive. Like you can't do the things that they're doing and not realize like this could have been easily solved in 10 minutes by calling your buddy up. So it feels very just, they knew they were just done. I mean, it even ends with him like grabbing a microphone saying, I'm Aquaman, and then yells and screams like Jason Momoa has been doing now constantly, and then jumps in the water.
And you hear the director say, that's a wrap, everybody. They didn't even really trim that off.
Probably he was happy. Yeah. So it's no fun. I like Patrick Wilson, and it sucks that they make him like a comic foil in this to the point where like he gets comically punched and then does that whole fly back, land on the ground, slide, and you're like that stunned face. I'm like, come on, dude, you're better than this. So it's no fun. And then I rewatched the A-Team movie with Liam Neeson.
Dude, I liked that back in the day.
Yeah, the A-Team movie's fun, and it made me watch Taken right after. I was like, I want to watch more Liam Neeson shit.
The A-Team was fun watching, but if you go back to watch certain shows, A-Team, Knight Rider, Airwolf, they're all terrible.
Yeah, no, the shows were bad, but the movie was fun. The weird thing about the movie is that Bradley Cooper's in it, And now that you know him doing the voice of Rocket Raccoon, he's literally doing the same voice in that movie.
Who does he play?
Face.
He's Face? Okay.
Yeah. But it's a fun movie. I mean, I think they just put it on Netflix again.
My favorite adaptation of the A-Team was the John Cena music video, Bad Bad Man.
That's so bad.
What the hell?
I'd watch that.
But it's so bad on purpose that...
B.A. Bumpy Knuckles.
Yeah.
Aw, Gary Coleman. Rest in peace, buddy.
I mean, look.
An actual music video? Like, what is this for?
This is the music video for his song Bad Bad Man.
Well, like, he had a rap song or something?
He had a whole album.
He had like an album.
God.
When he came out with that his theme song.
I remember that was his gimmick, but I know he made a whole album.
Yeah, he made a whole album. It did this.
So did Macho Man, though. Macho Man did an album.
Yeah, but that tanked. This actually sold really well. It did great on iTunes, and the music video was being played on MTV and stuff at the time, because this was like 2005 when this all came out. But yeah,
it's funny.
Fantastic.
I used to love that show. It's one of my favorites.
See, I don't remember much of the show itself. Like, I remember watching it. I just couldn't tell you the plot of any one episode.
It's always like
because it was all the same.
Kidnapped and we go save them. Yeah, it was the same.
Yeah, and then BA had to be knocked out because he can't fly.
Plane, yeah.
It's just pretty much the same thing. And then
they would build a vehicle with like armor on it.
Yeah, and then when they'd be some kind of warehouse or dock area, and they're having shootouts, but you can see like the LA highways just right near it. Like, no one's hearing this at all. There's explosions.
Nobody died. There was never any blood.
Yeah, it was like the G.I. Joe of live action. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the movie's fun. It's a fun it was a fun revisit.
Jay, are you
Patrick Wilson's in that one too.
Yeah, I just watched The Marvels, which was one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time.
I took my daughter and we enjoyed it for what it was.
Oh, God almighty. I was not even expecting that bad. And I was like, this is way worse.
You didn't the weird, colorful dance singing scene halfway through?
The singing planet? No, all the cat
That was a rough
stuff.
one.
This is literally for like 8-year-old girls.
Yeah, but
my daughter's 12.
My big complaint with the dance scene and the color stuff, it's like it's obviously based on Bollywood, right?
Right.
The way it was all done. The main character in there is Muslim. So it's like, why, if you're going to be about her, like the show had a lot of Muslim culture for Ms. Marvel on Disney Plus. But if she's one of your main characters and you're trying to bring more of this Muslim culture into some of this stuff, why are you doing Bollywood dance sequences in here when it doesn't have anything to do with the other? It just made no sense. It's like, hey, this looks great. Throw it in there. We need to fill another half hour of nonsense.
Yeah, that was terrible. I watched The Curse. Did you guys see The Curse with Nathan Fielder?
Oh, I've heard of that. It's Emma Stone, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nathan Fielder.
I heard it's good. It's an A24 TV show.
Dude, it had me intrigued the whole way, and it's like just super awkward like most of Nathan Fielder's stuff is. And then the last episode just goes off the rails in a way that you did not see coming.
Okay, I definitely that's going to be my next start.
I watched it on Plex on my friend's bootleg server, but I think it's on Apple TV.
All right, yeah, we like to plug the legal platforms here.
It might be. Hold on, it might be a Hulu or an Amazon thing.
No, I think it's Apple TV.
Is it?
I'm almost positive.
Okay,
but it's you got to be in for it. Like if you like that, it's about like they're a couple and they're like basically it's all about like gentrification and like white privilege, and they're trying to like.
Whoa! You had me at white privilege.
Are they pro or against it?
No, they're trying to basically like help this like poor like out like New Mexico town that's full of like Native Americans, and help like make it better by selling these like eco homes that cost like $1 billion, and it's just this whole like this kid puts a curse on Nathan Fielder, and it's pretty weird and interesting and deplorable.
Oh, that's why it's on. Technically, it's on Showtime. So whatever, whatever.
Paramount.
Yeah, so Paramount Plus / Showtime / all this stuff.
I mean, I don't know if you're, it's not.
I like Benny Safdie, so like that show looked like it was going to be fun. Like I said, I think it's an A24 thing, so expect
not fun. It's not fun.
No, it's not. It's not. Sit down with the family and watch the stories.
No, it's like, how do I? It makes you think, and then the end will really make you think, like, what just happened here? And it's a lot. It kind of has a lot of like symbolism and all kinds of stuff. But it's I enjoyed it, I guess.
Okay.
What else?
You're the second person that said they liked it. So all right, I'll check it out.
I'm not mad. I spent the time. It's like a 45-minute episodes. I think there's 10 episodes.
Oh, I just realized I have a show I have to finish. I stopped on episode 6 and I forgot to watch the rest of it.
Of what?
The murder on the murder at the end of the world.
Oh yeah.
It's on Hulu. It's that blonde girl who was Princess Diana on The Crown. She plays like some kind of she's like some kind of
it's a British one, right?
Yeah, she plays some kind of like hacker coder thing that has some weird connection where she can forecast when people are dead. Like it's weird. And then she gets called to Finland by this billionaire, and he picks all these like top talent around the world, and he's trying to build this compound thing because they're starting to suspect like the world's going to be ending, and he knows something that everybody else doesn't. And it's a slow fucking burn. It's interesting, but it's just taking forever. And I forgot to go back to it, and I just remembered I got to go watch that again. So that's on my list. All right.
I just started watching Fargo season 5.
Any good?
First episode's cool. You're like, okay, what the hell's happening here? And then the second episode, you're like, all right. But if you it's hard to get over everybody trying to do these annoying Minnesota accents, knowing the girl from Ted Lasso is super British.
I was just going to say, how's Juno
I like her.
in there?
Dude, the first scene, I'm like, I don't know if I can do this with these stupid accents.
Her face is all contorted because she's got that accent. It's like, oh god, this is.
You should definitely watch Ted because it is full on Boston the entire time. It's fun.
Yeah, I watched the first few minutes of it, and I was like, oh, this is good. And I was trying to watch it with my son. I was like, oh, I can't watch this with him.
No.
But I was pleasantly surprised by like the first 5 minutes. I'm probably going to watch that as well. Sorry, Eric, I cut you off.
No, that's fine. I forgot to watch. I want to go back and start that whole series over again because every season is a different story, but in different cast stuff. But I think I dropped off. I saw the first episode where it was like Ewan McGregor and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And then I forgot to watch the rest of that too. So I've got like 2-3 seasons to catch up on. And go back.
Yeah, I heard like the first couple are good. I think I watched those, and it kind of dropped off, and now everyone's saying like it's back again with this season. I think 3 and 4 were kind of bad. Like don't want Chris Rock. I think people did not enjoy, but everyone's saying like, oh yeah, it's back to like season 1 and 2 goodness.
All right,
you know why? Because he was a comedian.
Yeah, fuck those comedians.
That show is available on Hulu if you want to go back and watch all those seasons like I'll do soon. Out right now for your viewing enjoyment, Netflix. Finally, you got season 2 of Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe Revolution. It includes Hordak, and for some reason it looks like Breath of the Wild meets He-Man.
I'm all in.
Yeah, with all of that. So that's out. I don't know if it's all the episodes or if they did a half season or if it's an episode a week, but it's out right now. So I'm going to watch that this weekend. We mentioned the Ted prequel series, which is available for streaming on Peacock and in theaters. Did you mean the right color or the black and white one?
No, that's what they're calling it. Godzilla -1 color. So it's the black and white version, but that's what they're saying. You got to read the whole sentence.
I did, and it just wasn't computing. It's all right. So clever, but wordy. Confusing. Godzilla -1 color. The black and white version of Godzilla -1 is in the theaters. It's only for a week.
Only for a week. I'm going Monday night. It's the only time that there's a late enough showing that I can make.
I'm thinking about maybe going back to it, but I might just wait for the digital.
Color one is good.
Yeah, super good.
It was fantastic. The best, and it's nominated for an Oscar.
Yep, best special effects.
First time a Godzilla movie, monster movie of that kind, got nominated for anything.
The budget for it was like $100,000 or something insanely.
Super smart,
and it broke over 100-something million already.
Yeah, well, the guy who directed it wrote it, directed it, and handled special effects. Like he had a small team of special effects, but he was running the show. Like this was all him.
The effects are insane in that movie. They're so good, and I was like, how did they make this movie for that little money?
The scenes where Godzilla's half face is, and he's like a snake. You can see his body kind of going like this in the water, chasing the.
Reminded me of Jaws.
Yeah, but I mean,
when he destroyed that town where it's like his little back plates came up. He shot. Oh man, just destruction.
That was
everywhere.
interesting. That was because Godzilla. I guess in the last 2 decades, Godzilla now his spikes glow, right? So when he's ramping up his atomic breath, it vroom, 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 you hear the generating noise, and his spikes would turn blue, and then he'd shoot the breath. This was different because as it's generating, they pop out. They're like a toy. It's like you can just like, pew, pew, pew,
Yeah,
as
super
each
cool.
spike was popping out bigger to generate the electricity.
Yeah, it was cool.
And then they slam down like as if like they pushed the button to shoot. I'm like, okay, I'll buy 5 of those toys.
Yes, please, NECA or whoever else is making them, let us know the second they're available. We will buy.
I think
all the
Super
toys.
7, which is I think an offshoot of NECA.
They're very good.
Yeah.
All right. Upcoming stuff for you. I don't. Nothing else is in the theater right
There's
now.
not much,
right?
no.
No. Okay.
There's nothing going on this week. I think next week has this movie Argyle, which looks horrible.
Upcoming stuff for your viewing enjoyment. So write this stuff down on Apple TV, Apple Plus, whatever you want to call it. February 1st is that Argyle movie that Jordan was just so giving a glowing review for. That comes
shit.
out. Is it February 1st or February 2nd?
Second.
Oh,
Sorry.
Okay. All right. One of these two was different, so we'll fix that. February 2nd, I stand corrected. February 4th on HBO Max, the Max streaming. You've got the beginning of Curb Your Enthusiasm, season 12, the final season. Unfortunately, that's happening. Wait, why is this twice on the sheet again? What happened here? Is it the 4th or the 14th?
Yes. Maybe it's once a week.
I don't know what happened here. I didn't update this part of the sheet. Did you futz with this?
I didn't futz with it. You also don't have to read it.
All right. Well, there we go.
It's the miracle of an audio medium. You can just
February
blow past
9th, Paramount Plus got a season 2. Halo is coming back.
I'll
Much
watch
to
it,
the-
but I'm going to hate watch it.
Much
That's
to
going to
the
be a hate
dismay
watch.
of everybody that enjoys the Halo franchise for the games. And who's the guy who plays Master Chief? Pablo?
He was Pablo Schreiber or something like that.
He was,
Yeah.
when they asked him about what do you think about all the negative
him.
criticism about the show, and he's like, well, they just don't like like our show. Like he kept saying it was our show.
He came out and basically said, in our medium, you can't tell a compelling story where you associate with the character without showing his face. It makes no sense for him to run around in a helmet. And I'm sitting there going, I did it with the fucking Mandalorian for 3 seasons. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I was so mad when he said that. I was like, how are you trying to get people to watch your show and then alienate literally everybody that's trying to watch your show? I'm going to hate watch it, but I'll watch it.
All right, moving on. We had mentioned the Oscar nominations, by the way. We said Godzilla -1 got a nomination for Best Special Effects. Oppenheimer leads everybody with 13 nominations, 0 nominations for The Iron Claw and Saltburn. I want to see The Iron Claw. That's the story about the Von Erich family, the wrestling family out of Texas.
I almost went right before this today, but I didn't think I'd be done in time.
All right.
The A24 is the one that put that one out, and they did that movie a huge disservice. Not hyping it up and releasing it so late in the year. Like they should have released it earlier. And this probably would
Saltburn,
have
I've seen nothing but negative reviews.
I've heard mixed stuff about it. Some people like it, some people hate it.
It's bizarre.
The
It is.
Barbie movie got snubbed every way possible, except Ryan Gosling nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Sweet irony.
It seems to be, yeah, it's like the whole point of the movie was complaining about this, and then real life just imitated art, and then which was imitating real life. So it's back.
Men
to being
rule
where
the
it
world
is.
is what they're saying.
Margot Robbie not nominated. Greta Gerwig not nominated for Best Director. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
He got nominated for Best Picture, but not Best Director. And the movie made like $1 billion. And I know when Jaws originally came out in the 70s, Spielberg had the same issue. And it's like, if your movie is too successful, that's when you're not going to get the accolades that movie should deserve. So I think this is suffering from that same thing. I just find it funny that Gosling got nominated and he's not even that great in it. Like, he's good. I can care less.
Because it's just like Jack Black when he got nominated last year for the Peaches song for Super Mario Brothers. Because
that would have been for this year and he didn't get nominated.
It was a novelty. Wait, it wasn't for last year?
No, last year's when the movie came out in the summer. And that movie got snubbed.
okay.
No Oscars for that, for like
Then
best
my
animated, no
argument
song.
holds
Grammys, maybe?
My argument probably then maybe that's what I'm thinking of, holds no merit because people only gave a shit about that because that stupid song was
Yeah.
viral and everyone thinks it's a great song. It's a terrible song. It's not funny. It's not enjoyable.
Even a full song. It's like 45 seconds long.
Yeah.
It's just garbage. What is this? No Leo nomination.
Leonardo DiCaprio didn't get nominated at all for his Killers of the Flower Moon role. which is weird because usually when he teams up with Scorsese doing anything, he's usually a shoe-in for some kind of nomination.
Maybe Hollywood's caught on and pissed with the Scorsese thing, talking shit talking all the superhero movies and like, hey, they're making us billions. You're not making us anything right now, so shut the fuck up.
Right. I have zero desire to see that movie.
I've heard good things about it, but I think I don't want to watch it.
It's very long, and about half the movie can get cut out, and it would still be just as good.
I saw it on the front page. I think it was Apple TV. They had it there. It was Apple?
Yeah, it's on Apple TV Plus now.
Yeah. So I had no desire to watch it. Indiana Jones, the Dial of Density, got the Best Score nomination over Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which is weird because the first Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse stuff won a ton of awards.
Yeah. I liked the Indiana Jones movie. I can't tell you at all if the music was even memorable. So that's why that's weird that got nominated.
Although all the art styles were great to see, it was too much. It was hurting my head because there was too many styles blending on top of each other.
Oh, for Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah, and it was really taking me out of actually enjoying the actual story. It was just too much. What else do we have going on here? Jurassic World 4 has been announced, described as a new era for the franchise. Universal is deep into the development of an all-new Jurassic World movie and has David Kopp back at the keyboard. He wrote the first two movies based off the Michael Crichton books. And so he's coming back to script this new thing here for a possible 2025 release. The other rumor I heard surrounding it, that it's essentially a reboot. Even though it's the fourth movie, it's going to be like a reboot of the franchise. So, why? The first movie was so great.
People.
Yeah. So terrible. Stop with all the sequels and everything. Come up with some newer shit for us to enjoy. Speaking of sequels, Tron Ares. Gillian Anderson is joining the cast. Details of Anderson's character and the film's wider plot are currently under wraps, but Disney has confirmed the movie will follow Jared Leto's Ares, a fictional character who crosses from the world of video games to planet Earth. So you have that to look forward to. If you want more...
What is that called?
Tron Ares?
Tron Ares.
A new Tron movie.
Yeah, which really annoyed me because they had one of those director's chairs promoting it like, we started filming, and they did it TR3N. I'm like, that's not even how you would use that. Tren. I was upset, and I liked the Tron movies. Like, the first one was good for what it was, and then I liked the second one, Daft Punk. It was like really good. This is not shaping up to be something I care about, especially with Jared Leto as the main character.
They're only making it so that the roller coaster they just opened at Disney stays relevant.
Oh, well, I want to ride that thing.
Moving on, Jon Stewart is returning to The Daily Show. Now, when they first put this out, everyone thought he's coming back as the main host of The Daily Show. And then the next release, like an hour later, was, oh yeah, he's only doing Mondays, and it's leading into the general election here in the United States. So he's there for political season. He'll take the reins of The Daily Show on Monday nights, starting February 12th, and he'll ride through the 2024 presidential election. So then the rest of the week is just going to be other fill-ins or the correspondence or whatever they're doing?
Correspondence. They're saying it's all going to be like newsroom correspondent type stuff.
Right.
Because they had, after what's-his-face left, Trevor Noah, they had that revolving cast of, guest spots, and like no one, I guess.
Terrible. I mean,
I guess no one really made a dent, so they decided not to do it.
Bad. Roy Woods?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty good, but I think he was expected to get the gig, and they did him dirty.
They just decided not to do with anything.
He was a correspondent during Trevor Noah's thing.
Mm-hmm. He was good.
But, they did. When I saw they had Leslie Jones filling in one week, I was just like, all right, they don't know what the fuck they're doing here, and this show's terrible. I mean, I didn't watch it much during the Trevor Noah era to begin with, but...
Not religiously. Like, I'd catch clips and find stuff, kind of funny.
Yeah.
But...
All right. Well, we'll see how that goes. Christopher Nolan's Tenet. If you don't know what that movie is, it came out... it was one of the first movies that came out during the pandemic.
So the pandemic hit, and then when they lifted they lifted some of the restrictions briefly, and it came out like in August or like it's always like he always releases summer movies, so it was like an August release. and it didn't get the release that it should have. He made it for like IMAX screens, and none of the IMAX screens were putting it out. All that 70 millimeter stuff.
Right.
So,
well, they're putting it out into the theaters, and the movie was confusing enough and difficult to watch on the streaming from the comfort of my own home. I don't know how people, and it's a long movie too. It's almost 3 hours. So, good luck trying to figure all the plot devices of one timeline's moving forward while the other timeline's moving backward. It's annoying and frustrating. And he's cramming that in before Dune Part 2 now.
mm-hmm.
Like somehow, I guess there was a gap, and they're like, hey, let's release it into the theater since the movie's already done and we never got a theater release. Might as well throw it in there. So
the first Dune didn't get it got a theater release, but it also was part of that year where they were dual releasing everything. So Dune went to Max or HBO Max at the time and theaters.
Yeah, but Tenet wasn't. So
Tenet wasn't.
Part of the regulations for Oscar nominations, it has to be released in the theater for a certain amount of weeks.
Yeah.
So if this qualify for the next year's Oscars because it's being released in the theaters for the first time?
No, because it's a re-release.
But it never was in the theater.
It was in the theater. I saw it in the theater. It just wasn't that popular because of the COVID stuff.
Why do I not remember it being in the theater during the pandemic? I only remember maybe that's how they were promoting it. It was on.
I think I saw it in the theater as well.
I think it was one of the first movies back since the pandemic started, and not a lot of people were going to movies. I mean, they're still not, but it was not. It did not make clearly the amount of money a Christopher Nolan movie would have made.
Fair enough.
Had it released during non-sickness time.
Moving on, Netflix won't release Halle Berry's sci-fi movie The Mothership. Was in the midst of a lengthy post-production, faced with numerous delays, including reshoots with kids who have aged and couldn't be completed. It is now likely it won't see the light of day. Halle Berry's relationship with Netflix, however, continues, and she'll appear next in an action film, The Union, for the streamer. Netflix last released her directorial debut, Bruised. I didn't see any.
That was about like a female UFC fighter. She directed it. It was all right. Nothing great. I mean, it was definitely a streaming movie.
See,
but this just goes to that bigger issue of things being made and then they just canning it for tax purposes.
Yeah, I was going to say that's where you scrap the movie. That's where you do that. You don't shoot Batwoman $90+ million and then go, hey, we're going to have a little rap party where everybody can watch it for Christmas before we burn the movie forever.
Could you imagine they burn it in front of them? You're like, here we go.
Yeah, right after the movie's done, it's like a James Bond or a Mission Impossible thing.
Just smokes.
Not James Bond, Mission Impossible, where it's like, this movie will self-destruct in 5 seconds, and then this smoke comes out of the projector and the movie's gone.
Single tear from Brendan Fraser.
Moving on, Marvel MCU updates for you. Since there's nothing happening till Deadpool in the summer. For Marvel, Daredevil Born Again, the upcoming series, Bullseye is returning, a very popular character for people who were Daredevil fans. Wilson Bethel's Benjamin Poindexter, a fan favorite from the 3rd season of Netflix's Daredevil, is returning. It's unclear how extensive his role is in this new series, but it seems to be a continuation of the Netflix series, despite them saying that it's not the old series, it's a brand new series, but it seems to be the old series.
Give me Colin Farrell back.
Everybody,
I like when he shot the peanut in that lady's mouth on the plane.
I like the paperclip.
Paperclip, throws it in his throat.
He's coming back.
I always love how he had to rub his forehead. Just take it off. Like, I'm Bullseye. In case you didn't know, I'm like, you're fucking dumb. I love it. I'll still watch it.
John Berthol's Frank Castle is returning, the Punisher. I wonder how gruesome they'll let him be now that Disney's overseeing it. But look, they're letting Deadpool be an R-rated movie. They're now letting Blade be an R-rated movie. Maybe they cut some leeway here, and it's going to be TVMA. I mean, say what you want about Echo. Pretty gruesome. Shots in the eye. Yeah, considering everything, they got away with a lot of that stuff. So maybe the Punisher will be very Punisher-like and coming in where he's got a big, high-powered semi-automatic gun and he's just mowing down bad guys left and right as they're coming at him at video game speed for NPC characters. He's just clearing the field so everybody else can go through and do what they want. What happened to the other part I just had here? Where did it go?
It was a portion of Tron Ares that I put there, so we put too much in there, so I took it out.
All right, that's good. We'll save this for next week, but next week we're going to watch the brand new trailer for the new reboot of Roadhouse.
Came out today, right?
Oof.
Yeah, this morning.
It did. No need for it, but alas, here we are.
Fun fact, it's going right to Amazon, and the director and Jake Gyllenhaal are pissed about it because they didn't want that just to be a streaming movie.
Yeah, well,
so that's fun.
You got paid, didn't you?
Yeah.
Unless he had back-end points. Like, if he had back-end points for a box office release, and they go, yeah, we're just going to go streaming.
They figured if Ken got nominated for an Oscar, he might have a shot playing.
Did you dye your hair blonde for this movie? What? Well, Patrick Swayze was kind of blonde. He was brown-haired. I don't know. Hopefully he has the dance moves. I would love to see the dance fighting that's going on.
Vince McMahon would love to hang out.
Oh, perfect time.
God damn.
Dang it, every time. It's always when you want to say something important. It's like telling the joke, and right as the punchline hits, you pause. You've done it like 4 times tonight. It's hilarious.
I said Vince McMahon would be a big fan of hanging out at the Double Deuce.
He'd be the place
he'd
be the guy sending his like Pat Patterson and Jerry Briscoe to go burn down people's houses and apartments. Oh my God, they should do Roadhouse with Vince McMahon and his cronies. I would watch that. Definitely would watch that. All right, we do need to get out of here. We got to do the plugs. Our nation's eyes are bypassing Jordan once, and they're going over to our pal Jay. Jay, what are your plugs?
You can check out the Masters of None podcast on all the platforms. We're on a pause right now, but there's like 15 years of shows that are all pretty much evergreen. Each one's on a different topic. We got a lot of cool guests, some surprising celebrities in there. And then Patreon, we have like double the shows on there at patreon.com/Masters of None. You got to get on board with the Sheetcast. It's the future of podcasting.
I like how you leaned so that you didn't block the logo.
Right. It's just all the
And we're at Masters of None Show on all the things, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. We're on Facebook, X still, I guess. I don't know.
All right.
But yeah, I'm always posting up dumbass videos just for the fun of it. So check it out.
All right. Jordan, what do you have?
I was just going to say it would be funny if he was like, they're evergreen podcasts. Like the one where we talk about how 2024 was really fun, but not really. I'm on another podcast as well. Watch Later Pod. It's called I'll Watch It Later Podcast. We talk about movies that we every time. No one knows I do anything. We watch movies. We talk about our lives. We go on all kinds of fun, crazy adventures. It's something different. It's 3 white guys talking about movies. Come check us out.
Sounds
you
like
royalties for that.
Yeah, I say sounds like you owe Jay some money there, my friend.
I know.
For me and the show, it's Eric Nagel across the board on all the social medias. You can see it along the bottom right here. Follow us there. If you're listening to us through the iHeartRadio app, thank you so much for doing so. If you're listening to us on demand through Apple, Spotify, any of those other places, do us a kindness. Go over there and leave us a positive review for the show. It definitely does help us out. And if you want to join us live each and every week as we do the program, head over to our live rooms. Give it a like and subscribe over there to Twitch and onto YouTube, all under the moniker It's Eric Nagel. And you can participate in the program as we do it. And of course, episodes go up the next day, and video goes up on our YouTube channel. You can find it all there. Jay, thank you so much for coming on the show, my friend.
Thank you, man.
We appreciate it.
A lot of fun. Appreciate it, guys.
Next time, when you guys finally decide to reunite, we should have Mike and Artie back on here as well.
Absolutely.
And we'll have a whole hodgepodge.
Oh, yeah.
I'm coining that right now.
You like 3 people talking over each other. Wait till you hear 5.
Right. We're on our way to 40. 40 white guys on screen.
44 and a mule.
There we go. We do need to get out of here. So until the next time, everybody,
be excellent to each other.
And have a wonderful time. And wow, we haven't said that in a while.
I was going to say, yeah, we haven't.
That's the line from the person that's not here anymore. And we'll be seeing you. Take care, everybody. Bye.
It's Eric Nagel.
My intelligence is a 10. Yours a 3 and 4. Not my fault. Stupid motherfuckers, it's yours. Come on, join in, you stupid.
Alas, we're out of time.
Follow It's Eric Nagel on social media platforms. For ways to watch and listen to the show, or join us for the live shows, head over to itsericnagel.com. Yo, and remember to tell 2 friends so they can tell 2 friends, and they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends, they can tell 2 friends. You get the idea.
Keep it real, homies.